Yeah, we find her, the beautiful girl we've been missing. We wanna have her kissing. We find her, now we in love. Say go so, the remix.
DMB, Tux Bites, remix.
Now if I had to lose you like a bad phone connection, I'd change my game to get a better reception. Sit back, let's start this interaction. Don't fight the feelings, just a chain reaction. Your heart won't give you the wrong instructions. Like my GPS, yes I got the right direction. We gotta merge together like a road intersection. Last stop is gonna be my love and affection. I ain't like the mother dudes, they wanna call you shorty, but I'ma call you a beautiful girl. I took your picture home, my mama saw it, she's a very, very beautiful girl. I wanna put you in my video, cause you're so beautiful. You're a beautiful girl. So when you hear us on your radio, turn up your stereo. It's beautiful girl.
Gotta find a shorty who's worth of a lady. It's nice, but maybe doesn't look like 40. It's taking a little time. I wasn't seeing no signs, any traces of my baby. Who's gonna be my baby? But I thought I'm gonna take my time. Within it took a long fine eye. I saw a shorty passing by. She's got this very pretty smile. It was right at the bus station. I tried to make a conversation, holding her arms, feeling so tough. I felt the sensation. It's been a while that I've been trying to find a beautiful girl. And now I realize I found me a beautiful girl. She's a model, she's so fine. I just wanna take it by. Beautiful girl, sparkling eyes, a killing thigh. I found me a beautiful girl.
My wish came true when I saw you, girl. God must have blessed me with your beauty, girl. Looking so right from your head to your toe. Shaped like a Coke bottle with a smile of a queen. My queen to be, you my destiny. Got a body of a goddess with your beauty. I'm impressed and I'm never in distress. Come on over and be mine. Been searching for a man and now all the cats keep looking to mine. With a sexy walk and a sexy talk, she must be from the planet called the sexy world. I know I ain't tripping, better yet I'm thinking put a ring on the finger, we look good together. Take your place in my heart with your beauty. I'ma say that I'll never turn away. Who would think I'm in love?
Such the way she smiles at me just really makes me weak. The way she speaks to me just really make me go so weak. Keep staring in her eyebrows. All I kept on saying is wow. Your beauty shines and breeze at night. All I really want in my life. Oh yeah. It's been a while that I've been trying to find a beautiful girl. Fine brown eyes. I found me a beautiful girl. She's my model, she's so fine. I just wanna take it. Beautiful girl, sparkling eyes, killing thigh. I found me a beautiful girl. Yeah, beautiful girl. One beautiful girl, yeah. Beautiful girl.
Damn. Money, you seen her? Hot Ice, have you seen her? LP, have you seen her? I'ma go over to Tux Bites. I know you've probably seen her. He has a lot of beautiful girls with him. Tux, it's DMB, baby. Look,
Beautiful.
I look for a while, but I can't seem to find a beautiful girl so I can make her mine. Time after time I've been searching for a while, but every girl I meet never seems worthwhile. What can I do? I pray to God for an answer. I feel pains in my heart like cancer, and when I find her, I'm gonna romance her. Lace several presents and gifts, call me Santa Claus. I make a heartbeat pause. That's my girl, homeboy, not yours. The girl of my dreams, she's more than I ever thought. Show me as the picture, I think I'm getting punked. She's what I really want, so I'ma go get her. Since I'm a go getter, you know I'm gon' get her. And I will give her the world, anything for my beautiful girl. Psych. Ooh,
It's been a while that I've been trying to find a beautiful girl. Fine, brown eyes. I found me a beautiful girl. She's my model, oh, she's so fine. I just wanna take it beautiful girl. Sparkling night, killing time. I found a beautiful girl.
Girl, it's your love that I've been missing. I miss all your hugs, your touching and kissing. Make love on the floor, the couch in the kitchen. One love enough, we done enough.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen of Prestige and Obodo fam. Asuna. How on a day? How's everybody good? Good? Everybody good? Can you hear me loud and clear? If you can hear me loud and clear, let me know. Let's get started. Let's continue this Hakimi conversation. Let's get to it. How's everybody good? Everybody good? Yes? Let me come to the chats. Welcome. Of course, my sister is here. Chiye, how far now? How you there? And of course, my other sister, D-Love. Shout out to you all. Welcome back. I have Eunice. Hey, Eunice. I have everybody here. Hit that like button. Thank you so much. Hey, Vanessa. Welcome, Vanessa. Welcome. Let's see who else is here. I have Abby here. And I have a ton of people in the background. 35 people. Shout out to all 35 of you. Welcome back. Yes, let's talk about it here. What are we talking about? We're talking about the music. The 20 years old music. I know. Area. Of course, she's here. My G. Not too far now. How you doing? Alright, so let's get to it. Today we're going to talk. We have a conversation. Let me go ahead and drop the link. I'm dropping the link for her to be only for now, okay? So that whenever she's ready, she can come right in. We can, because I want her to go to bed as soon as possible, because she just finished the show. But I thought I should bring her up to discuss something important, because again, any of my personal persons, you know, if there's some things that we need to discuss, I'll bring it to them first, and then we'll talk about it, and then we'll chop it up, and then, you know, sometimes we have to agree to disagree, and then, you know, and sometimes we have to agree to agree, and sometimes, you know, like most times, we come to an understanding, right? Understanding, Ikoko. And but yeah, we're talking about the Hakimi thing. It's all wrapped up into the Hakimi story, you know. It's all wrapped up into the same thing. So nothing special, nothing crazy. If you're here, yes, you're required now, because we've had some trolls over the past few days. They're required to at least donate their subscribe to me before they can chat nonsense to me. It's a requirement, and even at that, they can still get blocked. All right, so, but let me just go ahead and drop that link. I see, brother Patrick. Well, Patrick, how now? How you doing? How's everybody doing? Good. Okay, I see quite a few people that I haven't seen in a while, and some new people. Shout out to you. Welcome. All right, so let me go ahead and just pin that link to the top, because I'm not sure. Whenever she's ready, and to be, feel free to hit that link and come to the top so we can get you to bed as soon as possible. So it's not just subscribes that you need to donate. You need to donate likes. Okay, we're missing a ton of likes already. I can see, like, come on. All right, hit that, hit them like buttons. Thank you so much. It's the least that you can do, because I'm not just covering busybody stuff here. We are extracting lessons. As you can see, today we're talking about satanic programming. The satanic programming that is going on. The leaders are being attacked. You know, Yoruba people say, Orile jati runwa. If you want to attack any type of organization, body, structure, person, the head. Just target the head. That's it. That's all it takes. That's all it takes. Okay? That's all it takes to take anything out. Just target the head. Okay? So keep that at the back of your mind as we're talking about this today. All right? Auntie B, happy Sunday. I know you're trying to wind down from the party. I can hear you when you're ready. Okay, she needs to go back in and come back in. Okay. All right. So here's the thing. If the devil wants to attack anything, I say devil and I say that lightly. You know me. I don't mean devil as some kind of feature or entity that lives in the planet somewhere that everybody's worshiping. That's not what I'm talking about. When I'm talking about the devil, oftentimes it actually means you yourself. Okay. Oftentimes it means you. Okay. Atibi, Shegbomi.
Bongo, just carry on. Let me listen for a minute, then I'll jump in.
No Allah. Just talk when you're ready. You'll be in the background, okay? But I can hear you. All right. So anytime, just think. Anytime the devil wants to attack anything, it attacks. Sometimes it may go around. Just kind of like beat around the bush a little bit. Sometimes they attack, children, the wife. But sometimes when it does that, it's attacking the children and the wife so that it can distract you, the leader, to distract you, right? To go and try to save or hold accountable or all this kind of stuff. And then it attacks the head. And that's all it takes to take anything, anyone, anybody out. Okay? So let me just go ahead and shout out to a few more people before we get into that conversation. Hey, Onibe, welcome. Shout out to you. I see Jinx is in the house. Yes. Let's see what else that I'm missing here. All right, just wanted to do some quick shout out. So that's what we're talking about today. These types of stories, right? I keep telling you, this is not about HAKIMI. Right? There is programming going on, and the programming that are being used are, we're talking about things like social media, the things that you love the most useful tools in our lives, right? It's going to be used to reprogram, the people that matter. And again, like I said, somebody can help me in the chat. I don't know how to say that in Yoruba, but the point of the gist is that if you need to attack anything, you might need to strategize before you get to attacking the head. But ultimately, you're trying to get to the head. Once you get to the head, you take out the head. That's it. Nothing happens once you attack the head. It's done. It's over with. You can think of it in terms of anything, okay? And I'm not trying to say the other one, but anything. That's all it takes, okay? So we're talking about this HAKIMI story, right? And that's what we're talking about. It's been happening for the past, was Saturday. It's been trending. But I think it's coming down a little bit right now. It's trended a little bit over 48 hours because there was also a lot of soccer playing and things like that since yesterday, So, but it's still hot for us because we're talking about relationships. We're talking about marriage, right? So, but I have to alter everything at this point in time. Shout out to D-Love. Thank you so much, D-Love. I appreciate you. Now you know what time it is. You know what time it is. Let's get to it before we continue. All right, thank you so much for that, D. This conversation is going to be an interesting one, okay? I can see that already right now, okay? Wala wa. Anyway, but let me get back to the chat really quickly. Thank you so much for that, D. I appreciate you. Adama says the devil attacks and breaks down the family. Once that is achieved, civil society starts to crumble. That's a good way to look at it, okay? But I wouldn't even go that far. That's at the macro levels now. That's almost macro level. At the micro level, the devil will attack men. It will attack men. It's not going to attack men physically. Okay? It's not going to attack men with sign language. No, that's not the case. It attacks the mindset of men. Okay? The mindset is got to go a little deeper than that. The devil doesn't just attack, flimsy things that you can see. It attacks the mindset of man. Okay, not physically, not all these other things, not in the court, not legally, right? He might strategize, use the courts, the legal system to distract them first, and then once he you see how I'm clapping? This is passionate for me, okay? Once he attacks their mindset, there's no saving it anymore. Everything we have to reset, okay? I'm not saying it's extinction, not necessarily extinction, but everything we have to reset. The family structure will crumble, right? Marriage will crumble. Everything you think of that you've ever valued in terms of the human race, right? Will have to crumble all the way to, and then it has to be a reset all the way from the beginning, okay? All right? So, yeah. Thank you so much, Life with Natu. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. All right, so let's do this. Okay, let's do this. There are a couple of things I want to cover. If you look at the if you look at this right here, there are a couple of things we're covering today. Of course, we're talking this HAKIMI story. You can see him kissing his mother over there. There's nothing wrong with that. Okay, not from my perspective. You can love your mother, especially if you're 19, 20, 21, 22. Yeah. It takes a while for a person to become a grown man. Right? It takes a minute. Sometimes, as a matter of fact, I would argue, there's many argument points that I have, that if a man has not gone through marriage up to 7, 8, 9, 10 years, preferably I would like to use the number 10 years, he hasn't really found himself. He can't be that man. Unfortunately, sadly, it's not going to be that holistic man that ladies that you probably dreamt about, that you really fantasize about, right? And why is that? That's not a bad thing. What I just said is not a bad thing. You see, the best of everything in life has to go through a certain processes, right? Certain pressure to become diamond, to become what you like, what you fancy in life, right? That's just how life works. That's the principle of life. We live in a time and age that everybody's looking for instant gratification, microwave. Create a man out of the thing here. He's just a man. He's just a man that everybody's fantasizing about. It takes a while, okay? And now, especially now, it takes a while. It's going to take a while. Sometimes they have to collect woto in divorce courts before they become a husband, a second marriage, Sometimes they have to collect. Before it can become better for another woman potentially. I know it sounds unfair. Remember, here we don't really pay too much attention to fairness. This is not about fairness, okay? This is about winning. Just think about the idea of winning. Winning and fairness. It's an oxymoron. It could make sense. It's not adding up. You want to win, but you want fairness at the same time. Who are you winning against? Oh, but you don't have to win and suppress other people. I get you. I understand you. I completely get it. Okay? But if you're obsessed with fairness, there's a good chance that you're distracted. Okay? You're distracted for what matters, Because again, remember what I said about the devil. It's coming for the head. Okay? It's coming for the head. Let me show my face. Sorry about that. I forgot the thing on it. We have Father Oluma is going to teach us a little bit today. Okay? Forgot about that part. And of course, we have a new member in the house. Mbasi, thank you so much. I appreciate you. Thank you for joining. Membership was open, just in case you're wondering. Membership is open. So look at what Adama said. Adama says true, especially in the Western world, seems very prominent with black people who don't play their cards right. Black people especially need to pay attention to what I'm talking about. We come here to talk about relationships. Yes, we're talking about relationships. We're talking about also power. So we don't focus too much on, we don't worry too much about fairness, okay? Fairness is skewed when it comes to place of work, when it comes to society, human rights. I think that's a beautiful thing. In the Western world, yes, we should continue to advocate for fairness, equality. When it comes to the family structure, the cornerstone of our society, we have to be careful. Because I'm telling you, the greatest of nations become the greatest of nations not by playing fair. That's not how it works. The best families around you that you look like you admire, they're not trying to play fair. They can be nice. They might give back here and there, but they're not trying to play fair. Auntie B, Shati ready?
Radio.
Okay. All right. So no problem. I'm going to pull that thing up. I'm going to read it. You can just listen, and then I just want you to give your best response, and I want you to go to bed with peace of mind.
I don't think I'm going to have peace of mind tonight because I just had a conversation with one of my sons about this matter.
With who?
I just had a conversation with one of my sons about this matter.
Really?
Yes. So I don't think I'll go to bed with peace of mind this night.
You will. Let's be optimistic. You will.
Okay.
Yeah. So there are quite a few comments, even some in the back channels. And so it wasn't just one person, but these are sides of, we did a live stream on your platform. I was at a train station that day, so I was a little bit disoriented. But I took a clip.
But you still made a lot of sense.
Thank you. And I took a clip of that day, that particular clip, about 10 minutes, 11 minutes when I spoke, and I put it on our channel here.
I saw it, yeah.
You saw it, right? So, and there were some point of contentions there that I felt like, this is not one of those Dr. Shola situations because, I can just tell you, I can defend you if you didn't want, you didn't have to come. I could just defend you regardless because I understood clearly where we were coming from that day. But it takes a while for the rest of the world, a majority, to really get to where we're trying to get to. And these conversations are ongoing anyway, So, but I felt like to be a good opportunity to address some things. You can see my screen now, Shebi. All right, good.
Yes,
so I'm just going to read it. There were two people, so I'm not going to make too much noise about who they are, just to make sure we address the point.
So is this from your YouTube?
Yeah, it's on one is, they're all on YouTube. The two that I'm going to highlight, the only reason why I'm highlighting because they're publicly on YouTube anyway. So if not, I would have kept them between you and I and not public, right? All right, so here we go. I was highly disappointed. This is one of them. I was highly disappointed. The name is Luxury. There's no face on the picture, but he or she is pretty regular here. So, but it's not a person's name, so no big deal. I was highly disappointed in yesterday Auntie B show. Yesterday's show was only focusing on Hakimi and other men, but not different scenarios as well, whereby women don't play fair during divorce procedures. Yes, it's true that some men are unfortunate and irresponsible, and some need to be taught a lesson. The same with some women. Okay? But there are a lot of cases where women are gold diggers and spiteful. They have an agenda before they start any relationship with a man, especially a famous and wealthy man. You can't tell me women are saints in most cases or all. Okay. Some married women are mongopax too, spiteful and hateful. When divorcing their spouse, they use the family divorce court to their advantage because it favors them more. And to be, I have to stop everything I'm doing immediately with immediate effect. Mama Abami, Shire we have to dance a little bit. I'll be right back, everybody. Anyway, all right. Are you back? I think you dropped off.
You are all this your.
You see, you are laughing a little bit already. I told you I'll go to bed properly now. I told you now.
Oh my God! Portable alone is enough to make somebody laugh. When they start to shout, that is wala wala wala.
Wala 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 wala.
Wala wala Nigeria don't report so at you go our call you. Hey! Wala wala wala.
I just lọ check mental health eléyìí kò dà èyí tó gbádùn.
Wala wa. Make we address Abi. Anyway, so some married women are mongopax too. Spiteful, hateful. I think I went past that already. Okay, yeah. When divorcing their spouse, they use the family divorce court to their advantage because it favors them more, and make sure they run their spouse dry, broke, and destroyed. I pray you don't marry your enemy. You haven't seen an evil spouse. Also, it was highly recommended for HAKIMI to have protected his asset from his ex-wife. Why I say this is because there are lots of famous footballers, e.g. Emmanuel Ebowe, that have lost their fortunes to their spouse because of unfair decision making by the divorce court. Before I even go past this one,
that's just capping.
No, that one's actually false. Based off of this Pulse Sport article here, the guy actually said his ex-wife never got him broke. You can go and find this on the internet. Of course, people always look for examples that fit a particular narrative.
Yeah, but they should quote the examples that are real. Why they keep capping and lying about people that lose their fortune?
So there's more to, but anyway, the extreme examples as usual. But let me get back to that other one here. Let's see. Okay, go back here. All right. So now I get why Cristiano Ronaldo hasn't married his girlfriend yet. Maybe he has been contemplating on situation of his fellow footballers unfair losing their fortunes to their spouse. I will be betting that luxury is a man. I'm starting to smell fishy here. I always thought the person is a woman. I'm about to start feeling like this person, but I could be wrong. It's okay. It doesn't matter anyway. Because there's a lot of women who feel this way too, by the way.
Yeah.
Lastly, what I find funny is when women demand equality from the society, but only in convenient situations that favors them. Then equality is thrown out. I'm reading it for the first time at TB, just so you know. I just the same thing that I sent to you is basically all I had. I was going to address it yesterday, but I was like, nah, let me see if I can get on TB. No wonder countless men around the world see feminism as a big joke. And they don't take feminists seriously because radical feminists, they are biased in their opinions about men, and they don't really practice equality, but matriarchal system, which is unrealistic, never existed, by the way. Matriarchal system has never existed. So I see that we're panicking about the idea of a matriarchal system coming. No. I also can't really understand when women who are shouting women empowerment think cashing out from your divorce or depending on the man is empowerment. It isn't. Okay. That right there could make it a woman. That women empowerment is being independent by working, earning your money, and having your own assets. Stop thinking just because you're married, you have every right to fully depend on your man, and think you have every right. I'm hearing a lot of right stuff here. to take half or all of his assets. Work for yours. Also, stop using motherhood and pregnancy to cash out and take advantage of genuine men that want peace. Your bad women are making the good ones look bad and suffer from your ill-gotten actions. No wonder men think they can buy women with love because of some women that display a bad attitude of greediness.
Ola, please, can you stop reading? I think we've heard enough from this person.
It's enough? Okay.
Yeah, it's enough.
All right.
We don't need to hear more.
Okay. Let's let me hear your take on what you've seen so far, and particularly because your platform was mentioned for that particular show, I felt like, okay, maybe it's a good time we can.
Yeah, thank you, Ola. I appreciate you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Over the farm and all men of prestige people, give us a thumbs up. Give man of prestige a thumbs up. Thank you. So this topic here, it triggers a lot of people in different ways.
Right.
Okay. And I think there's a lot of generalization. There's a lot of assumption around this topic. Like you already pointed out when you called my show, Ola. When I did this show on that day, I wasn't focusing on even the divorce or what the wife was asking. If you notice.
Yes.
My topic was centered around some Nigerian Gen Z or whatever they are on Twitter that was saying that your wife is not your family. I was even more concerned about that because anybody that knows me on my platform knows that when it comes to all this money, assets, fighting, I'm not one that will start saying that, okay, fight. No, I don't. Because I believe that when you are alive.
Your topic that day was your spouse is not your family. That was the focus.
That was what triggered me.
Right.
Okay?
Exactly.
Is this narrative about who is your spouse?
Yes.
They'll always be the stranger. I wasn't even focusing on, it was later on when people were calling in that they started talking about what the woman was asking for. I didn't even know she was asking for half. Okay?
Yes, you didn't know that part. You didn't know that much details. Neither did I.
Neither did I. The guy until that day.
Right. Me too.
I don't know him. I just know he's a footballer. And the generalization part of it boils down to the fact that a lot of people that are having this conversation, they're assuming that if you see 1,000 men, that 10% of them are going to be HAKIMI.
Yes.
In terms of what they have. In how many we are talking about our community, Ola. We are talking about our culture, our people. Biko tell me if you see 100 or 1,000 men that earn this kind of money in our community or have this kind of assets.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to undermine the fact that, okay, when it comes to divorce, like you always say, all is fair in war and whatever.
Yes, so in love and war.
In love and war, you always say that, right?
Yeah.
I'm not trying to undermine the fact that people suffer. When it comes to these things, it depends on where you are or where you are looking at this situation from. So, for instance, let me break it down. If you are in Nigeria as a woman and you are divorcing, the dynamics of what you're going to be entitled to or what you will take out of that marriage or divorce is not the same thing as somebody who lives in the United States of America as a woman.
It's not the same.
It's not the same.
Yeah.
It's not the same. So there's a lot
It's not even the same for most people, even America.
Exactly. There are so many things that, innuendos that we're not looking at in this. Everybody's just celebrating because he's a footballer, he earns so and so amount of money, and oh, this is what these women do. They always fight for divorce and they try to enrich themselves. And I can tell you categorically, I don't think when people are in love, when you go into marriage, you are not going into the marriage thinking, oh, I'm just going to divorce him after 2 years. Or I'm going to divorce her after 2 years.
In fact, that's God forbid.
Exactly.
That's God forbid for most people.
When you are in love, you are high up in your feelings. You just, it's till delete. It's till bye to us. I love you. I want to be the mother of your children. Women love. We love marriage. That's the truth.
Yeah.
And usually and I'm not saying that all women are saints.
Yes.
Like the one part of the narrative, the comments that you read out that I agree with is that there are some women that are Mongopax as well.
Yes.
Mongopax is not only men.
And you've mentioned that numerous times as well.
Yes. There are women that are Mongopax. So, but we need to put a lot of things that people are not looking at into perspective. For instance, we're having a conversation this afternoon. And a lady in one of our Obodo Farm group, the UK group, was saying, you know what, actually I agree. I think a man who would do something like that will make a good husband. A man who is hide his assets
Really?
in his mother's name.
Wala, Nigeria.
Wala. Continue, ma.
This matter is deep, girl. I'm telling you.
Deep, yes.
The women that actually agree with this, I think they're even probably more than the men.
That's a fact. And to be, this is why sometimes when I tell men, right, I say, I'm defending you. If you're falling for women that are defending you, it's not that they don't like you, they like you, they're advocating for you, but that's not how men are built. Men are not supposed to avoid challenges. Men are not supposed to be afraid of scars of going through life. Men want women that don't have scars. It's the other way around. Women need you to show that you've had some experience in these streets, right? We're not the same. But so those kind of women, I see where their heart is, but not that. I want them to understand that you're not helping men. You're not helping your sons if you think life should just be soft for them. Life is not built that way.
So I asked the woman that said that, I said, oh, you say he will actually be a man like this that hides his money from his wife will actually be a good husband. I said, a good husband to who exactly? Do you mean a good husband to his wife or a good son to his mother?
No, she meant a good husband to her daughter-in-law.
No, because for women, it's confusing for us. For a lot of women, this can be confusing, Ola. And I'm talking to you as a mother who has adult children and as a wife. It's confusing. I love my sons, okay? But I also know that a time comes, when boys become men.
Yes. Now it's making sense small to me because you say you just finished talking to your son. Now it's making sense.
Yes. Boys will become men. And that's why my 19-year-old son, he will come and tell me now, he want to marry. I will say, are you okay? Show Yoni Abikilo share. No, you are not matured enough. And that is why I think that's where the fundamental issues regarding this HAKIMI story started. He was not even matured. He was a boy. And guess what my gender is doing now, Ola? You will not believe it. Now they are turning around to blame Hakpe. How dare you marry a small boy?
Yeah.
Who you are older than? And you expect him not to put his money under his mother's name?
That's the focus now.
So he was a small boy, but he knows how to see a fine girl. He knows that this woman is she's the most successful actress, Spanish actress. And according to what I've been reading, her career supported him and supported his career as well because she pushed him out there in the limelight. If he's old enough to know that he wants to marry a woman that is too old for him, because women. Ola, my gender. Oh,
see, there's no. Let me see. The topic today is satanic programming, right? And how the devil always go for the head. It's not going to go straight for the head. That's too obvious. That's too predictable. Sometimes he has to move around, beat around the bush, attack children, attack women before he gets to the head.
When we did this show the other day, I was because I'm a Christian. I don't know what the others religions, what their standpoint is regarding this issue of marriage. I can only speak for what I know. And somebody was saying, why are you talking about Christianity when the guy is a Muslim? I say, well, I'm not talking to Hakimi. I'm sure he doesn't know who I am.
Hakimi.
He's not listening. Hakimi. I'm talking to our people in our community. And I'm making examples. And it's very, very important that you are talking about how, unfortunately, we've come to this stage where marriage, is under serious attack.
Yes.
Under serious attack.
This is why we're no longer talking about just relationships. We're talking about power. We're talking about the black men. We're talking about your own society, not all 8 billion people. We're talking about your own society. How is your own society going to win? Because it's an active marketplace. It's at this point, if all we are talking about is relationship, is pretty lame and it's weak. And it's obvious, you can tell in our results. It's weak.
Let me tell you what troubles me about this whole scenario, Ola.
Yes, ma'am.
Is the way people are going into marriage or relationship being defensive.
Yeah, it's they're attacking each other as opposed to me and you against the world.
So when we talk about vulnerability, there's something when you are committing to someone else. You say, I want to commit to you.
Yeah.
There is a vulnerability that comes with that. Yes. And it's not necessarily a bad thing.
No. In fact, without this reasonable amount of vulnerability, will it work?
Yes.
What's the point?
You know what? And some people were saying, why am I making a case of leaving your father and mother? If you didn't leave your father and mother, would you not want to be a parent? Because in my show, I was trying to paint a picture of what women need to give up.
If you talk like that, if you're talking like that, I beg, if you are still single, stay single. For you, for your own good, stay single. Because it's not going to work. It's a mindset issue. You are going into it with the idea that the other person is your enemy. It's pointless.
So you don't know how troubled this thing made me feel, Ola. That day, I was so in my mind because all I could hear, I wasn't even thinking about divorces. And somebody in the show, I think one mommy was the one that was saying, is it right for her to be asking for half? And I said, well,
so it's another focus on right and wrong. There you go.
Yes, the laws are there, and people unfortunately will take advantage. And like somebody said, there are some loopholes. There will always be loopholes. Yeah,
that's life.
And people will take advantage of what will favor them. Like you said, divorces. We don't go to divorce court to go and play.
I won't go to divorce court come and do kumbaya. I not be to do with that.
You are going. It's like war. And don't forget, when people are going to that court, they are hurting.
So instead of learning how to not get into that space of divorce, let's prepare ourselves just in case divorce happens.
Yes. That is the danger of what this conversation.
This is witchcraft.
We are preparing already for that day when we meet in divorce court. How I'm going to protect myself.
We're focused on defense. Yourself. We're focused on defense. You're not going to play offense.
Relationship. It's like going into a relationship with a plan B.
Yeah, precisely.
You are not open to nurturing your relationship, growing it, loving one another, and saying, you know what? We are humans. We are not perfect. You're going to F up. I'm going to F up at some point, but I got you. Like you Americans would say, I got you.
I got you.
No, but we're going into it saying that, in case we are preparing for fights.
Yep.
How will something work when you are already preparing? And that's why what Bio was saying that day, that he will not allow his daughter to marry a man who is bringing a prenup made sense to me.
Yeah. It's let's be honest, Antibi. You said it all. It's confusing. We want to acknowledge that it's confusing. That it can create this topic will actively create more division if we're not careful about it. We want to acknowledge the people coming from the other end, right? People coming from go upstairs, baby. I'll see you soon, okay? We want to acknowledge all the people coming from the other side of this conversation that I understand, right? But I want you to understand there's an active division going on, and that's one of the tools that the enemy use. Have you ever heard of the term divide and conquer? So we have to handle this topic very, very carefully. Auntie B,
Allah, I'm worried.
you're worried.
I'm very, very worried.
Yeah.
I don't know where we are going with this married thing. I don't know where we are going because it's like women are learning how to empower themselves and protect themselves.
Yeah.
They are learning how to go into marriage by being defensive and saying, in case, if you do this, what am I going to be left with?
Yep.
And men are going into marriage saying, in case you want to take my asset, you want to take this is how I'm going to protect myself.
Let me hide everything.
Yes. And mothers are there clapping and clamoring for this.
Right.
Mothers are saying, yes, you did the right thing. You didn't work for it. What you didn't work for, how come you want to claim where you saw the video I shared with you this afternoon?
Yeah, I saw it. That
woman was running her mouth saying that my husband didn't have anything when I married him. Most of these people that are talking, they got nothing. You don't have anything.
So that's one of the roots of the issues is lack of abundance mindset, is poverty mindset that's speaking for the most part, right? It's because think about the background of quote unquote these footballers we're talking about. They also tend to come from a very humble background. So they're trying to hog on to money, right? That's one of the major issues here. Adama says 5 Oyibo babes are very good at attaching to our African football players. Let's do the math. Your African football players right now compared to the actual total population of just the people in Lekki alone, what's the percentage? You're not talking about majority of men. If majority of men are going into marriage with this, because remember, there's a high likelihood that this guy was going to divorce anyway, even if he married somebody the same day, they were born the same day. He's a celebrity. There's a high chance he's going to divorce anyway, right? So, but let's look at that, right? What's the percentage? The men that are responding to this and thinking this is a smart move right now. These men are not 19 years old footballers, right? They are men that will be married to majority of your daughters, okay? And your daughter, there's a high likelihood your daughter is going to be paying somewhere around 30 to 60% of the bills of that household, okay? I want you to start processing this right now.
You also know the danger of this, why this thing worried me so much.
Yes, ma'am.
Is the fact that women are now saying, if this is how you guys want to play it, I'm not building with you.
Yeah.
I don't want to join my resources with you. I don't want to support you because I don't know what you're going to do tomorrow.
Yeah.
Since you are clamoring for hiding assets in your mother's names, then what's the point? Because we've always, the way we were grown, I mean, like you said, what is the percentage of footballers like this who earn this kind of money?
It's almost zero.
Exactly.
Almost as low as zero.
So why are Nigerian men jumping on this and celebrating and jumping up and down that he did the smartest thing? When most of you married broke, you have nothing when you married your wife.
I still need your wife's help to pay the bills. There's one thing that you ladies always say, which is get your own money. I still haven't found a good way, a decent way to address it yet. Every time I hear that, my body just do like this. Marriage is over. Because as small as it sounds, and it sounds cute, and it sounds empowerment, the way that thing is destroying families, and to be. But I'll wait until the right time I can address it. Again, we're talking about division. We're talking about going into
I spoke about it yesterday on my 2 days ago on my show as well.
Okay.
Empower yourself. Get your own money.
Get your own money. Yeah.
So you see, Ola.
It sounds good on the surface. I get it. I know where you're coming from. But
you see, the us. The us in marriage. When the Bible says that the two shall become one. We've lost it completely. It's like me against you now. Husband and wife is like me. It's like being in a boxing ring now, babe. It's me versus you.
Yes.
There's no unity or togetherness anymore now.
Yes.
So I gave them the instance of saying, when you're always saying, get your money, go your money.
Yeah.
Young people get married. You're in your 20s or whatever, 30s. You're raising a family. Something's got to give. You got young children. You know the commitment that goes into it, raising a family. If everybody is saying get your money, don't have children then. If it's all about finances, and that's why you see this poverty mentality. We need to critically examine what is important in life, my brother.
I can hear somebody right now saying white people do it too. Listen, white people can afford to do it. Black men and women, you can't afford to do going into marriage with that poverty mindset, with the division mindset. It's you against me. Let me protect myself. You can't afford it. The whitey can afford it.
Already, life happens. Relationship marriages are challenging. So now, if we are going into it thinking that it's me against you,
yeah, like what's the point? Just stop and don't go into the marriage.
What are the chances of that marriage even lasting 2 years?
Zero, almost zero at least. Let me just give some room, right? Almost, because think about it. Let me say this clearly to you. This is not Dr. Shola's platform. I'm not going to tell you you're a super person. You're not a super person. Just get that straight through your skull. You're not a super person. You need the help of other people. You need people. You need relationships. You need to learn how to nurture relationships. You need all your focus to go into building relationships, not tearing relationship apart, not red flags. You know more than enough red flags already, I'm telling you. And those red flags that you know is tampering with you and your chances ever. Go ahead, Auntie B.
You know the saddest part of this whole conversation, because someone like me, I'm more focused on the fact that people are saying that your wife is not your family. Other people are more concerned about the finances, that the fact that the wife asks for half.
Yeah.
Nobody's talking about the children.
Yeah, they don't care. Because let me give you even a news flash. I talked about monster in-laws, right? We talked about it a little bit here yesterday. If you're a mother-in-law, there is a good chance, an extremely good chance you're going to be a monster-in-law to somebody. It's not for you to agree to. I'm telling you that they're going to see you that way because of the way this thing is set up, because of the territorial thing, right? And when that happens, how you respond to that is going to be everything. These are the nuances. See, all the easy talking points, Auntie B, we already got that on lockdown. Take care of yourself, self-love, boundary, all these terminologies. We already got that on lock. We even know it more than Oyibo people that wrote those books. Okay, the nuances, the conversation of the nuances is inside of learning how power works. That's where it's at. And it's you and I against the world. If you're better off, you're better for the rest of us if you remain a single person and help us fight as our culture, as our people, against any forces against us. As a generation, as a race, you're better off being a single person than going into a marriage with this enemy mindset. And then the next 14 years, 15 years of your life is consumed by the competition between you and a spouse, and dragging yourself in divorce courts and child support courts. Like, even though I say men will collect inside those places all the time, women too collect. It drains women emotionally. It's not fun. It's not fun. So you're better off saving yourself, because after all, let me tell you something, there's some kind of extinction coming, right? It's going to be the opposite of baby boom, because people are not getting married. There is a decline in divorce rate, Auntie B. It's not because people are not divorcing, it's because people are not getting married. Did you hear what I just said? Auntie B, okay, there is a decline in divorce rate. It's not because they are not divorced, it's because they are not getting married. They are afraid of getting married. There's fear everywhere. Okay? They are afraid, men are afraid of not being taken advantage of. Women are afraid of not going through, especially emotional abuse at emotional level. Okay, then the social media is obviously, we're trying our best, but it's not. The most viral messages about this are the most toxic ones, the one that creates more fear, the one that talks about red flags.
Yeah, that's a very good point, Ola.
Yeah,
Toby saying, "Pay, can you say what you said that is running away? It's shy." He was saying that he knows Hakimi very well because he's a football fanatic. So
Right.
that he got married very early.
Yeah, it's too
And
early.
this is the way he was running his finances. What if, even all this conversation we're having all around how he hid his money, what if it wasn't intentional? That is just the way he was.
None
because
of
he
it
was
is
so
intentional.
young. Well, he was so
None of
young and
this.
his mother was managing his finances or whatever, and they went to married and they never changed. It's not because he wanted to hurt his wife.
Yeah, none of this, Auntie B, is intentional. One of our biggest problem is that we look at things as if they are intentional. So we put on. That's the whole point of being defensive, right? You feel like somebody's trying to attack you, right? So we keep thinking of it as somebody is intentionally trying to attack us. Right?
Yeah, because
Majority
Nigerians
of
carry
these
this
issues are not
matter.
intentional.
The way Nigerians have carried this matter on their, I don't think the matter is trending in Morocco the way it's trending in Nigerian Twitter.
No, it's not.
And social media.
It's not. So from day one, right, Auntie B, it's true that's how that guy. He came into football obviously long before 19 because they groomed them as footballer from beginning, right? So when they start getting money, obviously they set up a certain type of structure. So that's why I keep saying this is not about Hakimi. This issue is about how the majority of people that will never be an Hakimi responded to this.
Exactly.
This is an indication of the fall apart of the family
I don't
structure.
know. Sometimes I wonder, how do you and other men, I mean, that I that will talk all the time. I wonder sometimes, how can you get it so easily and it's so difficult for other people to understand?
Yeah.
This might just be him, being the young boy that he was, having a good time. He fell in love with a Spanish actress,
Yep.
decided living.
He was
Nobody
thinking with
was
a
thinking
small
of
head.
divorce.
He was thinking with his small head like a lot of men today. Men are reacting emotionally. Women are reacting emotionally. That's what's going on right now. Both men or women
It's
are
possible.
reacting emotionally.
That's a possibility that it was not intentional for him to ever do this. It's just happened. I'm not sure he was planning to get married to divorce after whatever, how many years. They say he's been married 4
No
years.
one does that. But they sometimes suddenly go there with their defense mechanism, which anytime they see a little bit of crisis or conflict,
You know the part of it that really
they
breaks my
overreact.
heart is
Yes,
the
ma'am.
age shaming now. Everybody's age shaming the wife.
Yeah.
She's 13 years or 12 years older. How do you saw a small boy? It's because you are a gold digger. You are a gold digger. Most of you shouting gold digger. You don't even have anything. Maybe there needs to be gold.
There's no gold to dig.
There needs to be gold before somebody can dig. What do you have? And you are shouting gold digger, gold digger.
Yep. So this story is not about Hakimi. The devil is using this story to continue to program the black men against what they need the most to build their own societies, the family structure. That's what's going on. And if you need to, and it's going to take more than this one session to dig in through this. That's why we're here. We have time to talk about this conversation. There are little things we say to ourselves that sounds good on the surface, because the reason why it sounds good is it sounds like you're protecting yourself, and it makes sense in terms of protecting yourself. But for the long run, you're not protecting yourself, because there's going to be that one day some of you, you need someone to help you. You need children to push you around. You need your spouse to push you around at the age of 80, right? A spouse that hasn't been around you for the past 40 years not push you around at 80. You might as well pay for somebody, okay? So these are the issues that are going to come up in reality in life, right? That you will need, life will be a little bit more easier if you had a person next to you, if you nurture your relationships, not just romantic relationships, even your sibling. Some of you overreact because you think somebody's out to get you. You're always looking over your shoulder. You're missing out on life, on love, because you think somebody's out to get you all the time. It's a bigger weapon against you. You are your biggest enemy. You are the biggest devil that we're talking about. Devil does not live on a planet somewhere where you're going to throw a spear at him and he will just die. That's not how it works. He lives inside of you. Yes, ma'am.
I said something one day on my show. We were having this heated argument about divorce, money, and everything. And I said, you know what? Money to me, I have an attitude towards money. Some people say it's frivolous. My husband is always talking about how I don't rate money and I spend money anyhow.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have respect for money. Do you know why?
Why?
Because money comes and go. And money is something you can easily make.
Yes, that's a fact.
And I said
Money
something on my
is
show.
a
I said
tool.
money is easy to make. And people were like, no, Auntie Pio, money is not easy. I say,
That's part of our problems. Oyibo people don't look at money like that. That's why we're defeated.
Your relationship with money is very, very important. How do you see money? Is money everything to you? Do you think without this money, some people, you see, £5. Lord of pound, a man pay £5, yeah.
£5.
Some
Okay.
people, £5.
More
£5. It means the whole world to them.
Yeah.
And
That's poverty. That's what poverty does to you.
Poverty of the spirit.
Yeah, that's what poverty does to you. It makes you put, they call it money. It makes you put money on a pedestal that it really doesn't belong, right? It's in your scriptures of any religion. It's in your scriptures. You see, some of you think you're smarter than yourself. That's the problem. It's in your scriptures of any religion. You put money on a pedestal, you become a slave for it. Even when they give you all that money, you become a slave to it, right? And the most important things in life, starting with relationships, you miss out on it.
And you know what? And I see people every day. They have this money.
And they're not happy.
They have this money. Which happy, eh? Waiting. You are going happy waiting. The loneliness where by you want.
Yeah.
They worked all their life. They saved. They've got money. They paid up their mortgage. They've given their children money to buy house. Oyibo is Oyibo that have generational wealth. I'm not talking about Dudu. So when black people are even talking,
Auntie B, my spirit is hearing them right now. They're saying, if money is not that important, why would she want 50% of it? See, they can't help it. They have to go back to HAKIMI's story.
Yes, but I keep telling you that because of the laws of the land, is the law. Or whatever people can ask for, and that's what I answered when somebody asked the question. She's greedy. Why is she asking for half? Yeah.
If money is not so important,
you can ask. Does it mean that you are going to get it?
Nope.
It's a divorce, and like we said, divorce is tug of war. I'm gonna get, and sometimes, I feel like I need to say this. Women always go for the extra mile because they are hurting and they want to hurt you, and they know the place who will hurt the man is in his pocket.
Yeah.
So they will go the extra mile to see what they can take.
Right. So that's what the other side is saying, which they are right to a large extent.
Yes.
Is also a woman that's also been in a place where she's felt like she's lost out on everything in life.
Yes.
So let me
some women will go that route and say, you know what, he's done this to me, this is the way I feel. How can I get back to him? So they will go for the maximum they can get just to make him, because they know the only way he can feel that pain is in his bank accounts. Which is also not healthy.
It's not healthy for all parties.
It's not healthy because you got children in your. This person is going to be a part of your life forever, whether you like it or not.
Yep. It's not healthy for you. Yep. It's not healthy
because at the end of the day, even if she got half, which I doubt, anyway, she's not even going to get anything now. But even for people that got half, they're still not going to come out and they will not be happy.
Right.
Because there are days that you will still go home and you will sit down, you think about the good times when you were in love, all the dreams, all the things you plan to do. And now you are broken. You are going to therapy. You are dealing with your children asking you, where is dad? So for me, there are just some things that money cannot buy.
No, the worst problems in life, money cannot fix.
Exactly.
The worst of the problems that majority of you will go through in life, no miracles is going to help it. Money still can't buy it. The way you're going to be able to cope and do life and have the best of life is nurturing your relationships. I know we keep going back to it. It's true.
I see Bio in the comment section. There was something Bio said to me when we were having a conversation, and he said that, you know what? When we talk about divorce, people don't understand because they are so in their feelings, they are hurting, and they're trying to hurt the other person and make them pay for what they perceive the person has done to them. Yeah. But do you know that everybody hurts in divorce?
Everybody. And what's the children?
Men hurt, women hurt, the children hurt the most. And then he said something. He said, Bill said, do you know what it means for a father living with your children? Every day you kiss them at night, you see them in the morning when they are going off to whatever, they're going to school, to nursery, whatever. Do you know what it means for you not to have access to your children? Do you know how it affects a man?
Yeah.
But people are not looking at all this. So all they are thinking about is, it's the money, 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 money. And for me, yeah, money is important. Money will buy you a level of comfort. I like money. I don't love money. I don't worship money. But there are deeper issues involved in this matter.
Yep, it's deeper than anything. All that tangible stuff you're counting is deeper than them. Let me read this really quickly before we continue to be. This is from Since His Face. I'm just going to focus on just him today, since his face was on the thumbnail. Reverend Father Chineye Oluma. You know him, right?
Do I know him? I don't know.
This Baba right here, let me show you his face. I think you know him. You probably just didn't know his face, or you didn't put the face. This guy, the one in green.
Oh, is it that Catholic priest that's always making those? He's very political. Is it the one?
Yes. He's one of the few people left in Nigeria, influencers that make any sense.
He says it as it is, though. He never holds back.
Yeah, he says it as it is. So I appreciate people like him to push against the Reno mockeries, the weirdos of this social media, the Daddy Freezes, yeah. To be fair to Daddy Freeze, it looks like he's just giving random opinions, but there's some people that claim to be
experts.
Experts, and want to push against the blessing CEOs of this world.
Before you say what you remember, Father say you made some blessing. I need to.
All right.
Everybody on social media is saying, "How did blessing means this friend now? Kiri is not your mate."
Blessing CEO was picked up. Anyway, another story.
If Blessing was here when this matter is trending, she would have. They say if you read comment,
she would try to do common sense. She would just drag women, and it would be pointless because she has no depth to it.
She would drag women and pander to men and say, "I am a mother. I have sons."
Because it's common sense. Yeah, it will have no depth to it, and then she claims to be. Why do we have you as a professional?
You see how she got another person matter on her head now. She cannot set up ring light anymore. Oh my show.
Voila. Reverend Father Oluma, he says your wife is not your relative. That's true. She's not your mom or sister. That's absolutely true. Yet none of this is your wife. That's the sisters and the mother, right? She's the only person who is one with you in body and soul. The rest are secondary to your wife and in your life. Let's not distract the real issues about marriage from legal issues that vary from country to country.
Absolutely.
Hakim and his wife will settle their issue according to the law of their country and move on. Whatever happens between them is not a universal template. Those of you that want to generalize, get ready to face your own challenges.
Thank you, Reverend Father.
It makes sense, Baje.
In the comments, there's a comment BO made also like absolutely 100% emotional damage is more than financial damage.
Yes, now it's long lasting beyond your lifetime. Your children go suffer from your emotional damages.
People suffer from it, yet they don't recognize it. Why are they always thinking money?
Yeah, that's what we're trying to say, BO. Trying to get to.
Why is it so hard for our people to understand this? That yes,
it's the work we have to do and to be.
There's poverty in the land. You need money, but there are some things that are deeper than money. That's why do they say that the rich also cry? You can have all the money in this world, and you don't have peace. You can't sleep. You are not well. You are not okay emotionally.
Yeah. They talk about everything else.
You have said it all.
Brother Patrick, sir. I was going to tell you you're already in the show, but it looks like you were busy earlier. How are you, sir?
Yeah, Auntie B have said it all. Look at the show Auntie B held today and the women that came out.
Yeah.
Is it more? Is it money? Are they talking about money?
Everybody's talking about money, sir. Everybody's talking about
the women
money.
that came out about what they are going through.
Oh, you talk about the women that came? Yes, yes.
Are they
Those are the
talking
real
about
issues.
money?
Those are the real issues.
Yeah, like Ola just said, Auntie B, we have a role to play.
So sorry, sir. So I don't break the chain of this thing really quickly. I'll just finish the last two sentences from Father Oluma, then we can talk. Just give me 1 second. He says whatever happens between them is not a universal template. Get ready to face your own challenges. Pray to have a marriage that will not get so bad as to head towards divorce. And then lastly, he said, easy anywhere. We just pray for grace to overcome. Go ahead, sir. I can hear you loud and clear, sir.
The Bible always say, he who has ear, let him hear. Yes, divorce not be moi. Yes, Auntie B, you are now in the position God has placed you even as an elder with the work you are doing. We have a role to play. Because the way these kids take everything now, it's as if we didn't even know about women, or we never got married. As if these people don't know what they're talking. They're just, they are old. So we need to drive it home to them. Say, man, it's not easy. Money is not everything. Auntie B just said it.
Yeah.
Yes.
Money is not everything.
Marriage is very important. It's going to affect everything. The kids, your life is not going. It's going to look somehow. Yes, it's going to be a wound. By the time you go through the divorce, everything, we are talking about, I will always say, it's your emotion and your mates. So it's not easy. God help us. That's just the few things I have to say for now.
Oh, God, sir. Thank you so much, sir. It's crazy. Oni Bay, how far now?
Man of Prestige, good evening. How are you?
How you doing today?
I'm good, thank you very much. What I will say is very true, because money is not everything. Look at Steve Jobs. With all his money, he's still poor. He couldn't be saved. So people need to understand. And the couple that obviously are divorcing, I've been for a divorce, is very emotional. They're going through what they're going through. And it's basically the laws of the land. Whether she will get that money or if she has, we don't know.
Yep,
the main thing is about the children. And I went through a divorce and I tried as much as possible to be amicable. But unfortunately, my ex-husband at that time, made it very difficult. Now, 8 years later, because I divorced him just before my second child was born, he's now 8. We're in a much better place because he had to realize that it's not about him, it's about the children. Yeah. That's what is very, very important, and that is not being addressed. This poverty mentality that money is not all that. Trust me. People are going through stuff, and money can't do nothing for them. So people need to stop reacting, he did a good thing or he didn't do a good thing. That is not the issue. They will eventually have to work it out because they got children. They don't have a choice. Yeah. And it's hard emotionally. Yeah. I mean, it's very hard emotionally. I mean, my son went to his dad's over Easter. We have to be, when he picked him up, I had to be amicable. Nothing I can do because of the kids. To me, you have to be mature.
And I kid you not, honey babe, HAKIMI is never going to leave his son stranded.
Ever.
No, he won't. No. But I think that no one's addressing the issue, and I think you've mentioned it, that the reason she actively filed for divorce was because of what he did. Well, that's why I find there's no accountability of the fact that he did something wrong, hence the filing for divorce. They're now age shaming her, which I don't understand because they knew about. I mean, he decided to marry someone at that age. Personally, between me and you, I don't believe that when he married at 19, correct me if I'm wrong, that is not mature enough. He didn't know anything about marriage, hence the wreck that is happening now. But the main thing is about focusing on the children and being there for the children. And both of them, once the divorce has been has it been certified? And I don't know if everything has gone through. They need to focus on their children. That is all that matters, not the money.
I think we need to look at why all across Nigeria some men are rejoicing.
Auntie B, I think the issue is, sorry to say, and people kind of abuse me.
Do you think Ola, you are always talking about the manosphere? Is this a victory for the manosphere?
Yes, it is. Precisely.
But that doesn't make any sense. All the people that are saying that are congratulating,
it's a lose-lose.
They don't even make 1% of what he's made. So they should mind their business.
Yeah, it's a lose-lose. It's they're basically shooting themselves on the legs. Just like because the same thing with the manosphere or people that are always advocating for the women that also advocate for men from this very surface level stuff, right? They don't and the mother-in-laws to be that can relate because their son is involved right now. When you were mentioning mothers earlier and to be monster in-laws, it doesn't mean they admitted they are monster in-laws. That means the daughter-in-law sees them that way.
But you know the
monster in-laws always forget about their grandchildren in the midst of these wars. Keep that in mind. It's about defending your sons, but you forget there are grandchildren, 2 of them involved.
Yeah. You see the funny thing, Ola, this is why I'm reminding them, all the women that are saying that they don't see anything wrong in what he has done. When you go around shouting about DV, abuse, this, that, just bear in mind that you are also, as a wife or a partner, you are shouting and saying, all this narcissist. Is very easy for such women to use those words. You're a narcissist, you're a Mongo Park. But look inwards, though.
Inwards.
Look inwards.
Inwards, and to be. I just haven't said it yet, but before I say blanket statement, I like to break it down into like a class first. People that tend to see narcissists first, they are the worst narcissists, though. The ones that tend to call them out fast, they can't help but to see they are always detecting narcissism. They have a problem with looking inwards. People that are always holding people accountable, no disrespect to our accountability prefect here. They tend to be the one that I never want to be accountable.
So true.
But there's another class entirely on that one that's coming. But I just want us to put all our energy in majority of our energy. Listen, I want you to call out whoever is wrong. That's fine. I just want you to know there's no power in it for you. That's all I'm trying to say. There's no power in it, right? The power is in self-reflection because
how about the men that are saying on Twitter that, I'm married, my wife is my next of kin. I'm not saying that
they're hurting. That's resentment talking now to be.
That's hypocrisy because she's not your family, but yet she's your next of kin.
She's not your family, but you made her your next of kin.
It should be your sister that's your next of kin, if that's how you think. You can't have the best of both worlds.
None of us talk from a place that we can't relate. All of us, when we talk, we have biases. Some of us just try to adjust for the other side. All of us speak from a place of bias. Anytime somebody says something like that, it's either they are going through it right now or they are resenting something, but that thing is going to come to the surface because the cream always rises to the top. It will rise to the top at some point. They're going to self-destruct their own family. We're saying it sounds like it's cute. It just makes sense. Come on, no, it doesn't, because again, there's something we call downstream effect. There's some things that have leverage over others. The idea that you hide your money with your own family in the name of relative has a terrible downstream effect on your mindset about family. It's not just that one issue. It's about this is how you behave in other aspects of life. You look at things in a very myopic ways. You forget the grandchildren, and then you forget that at the very core, that one topic, that's the worst form of asset protection I've ever heard of in my life.
Okay, what about the fact that when you say that your wife, and you know this is the part that I care about in this whole conversation, when you say that your wife is not your family, so it means your mother is not your family too, to your father.
Yeah, that's fact, but
because
Father
your
Oluma,
mother is a wife, right?
Yes, but Father Oluma has said it all. Who cares about relative when we have body and soul? Who cares?
See how, for a reverend father that is not married, see how deep
he's clued up.
He went.
right? You can tell
Body and
them.
soul.
None of these people here, your mom and your sisters, yes, they are your relative, right? Yes, your wife is not your relative. You're correct, dum. She's your body and soul. At least that's what you're subscribing to. Because why would you want to do marriage? It doesn't make any sense. Oh, by the way, you don't have to do marriage on the altar. If you have kids with her, you can't just avoid marriage and think you're avoiding this. And if you don't realize that, if you don't do your responsibilities and the other person deem it at war with you, they will drag you inside of child support court. There's no way around it.
Ola, please, even if Obodo Ibo, I mean, diasporan men are talking. Nigerian men who live in Nigeria and African men who live in Africa are still talking about this matter. When they live in a patriarchal society where a man will literally kick his wife and he will send her packing, take her children, and she will not live with anything.
It's social media, and to be, they're all on social media.
Why are men in Nigeria talking? If Obodo men are even talking, African men who live in diaspora, I know some of them have been through very bad divorces and their experiences are negative. I acknowledge that. I know one particular one in the UK.
Yeah,
and that's why I say I'm not saying women are saints. It's
women
all
are not
about,
saints.
like it's about the system. It's the laws of the land, and people will always take advantage of what is available for them because this is a game of, I want to hurt you back. It's a tug of war, way. Like you always said, it's not fair.
It's never fair once you end up in that zone.
Men who live in Nigeria, why are they talking about this? Why are they talking?
It's because, Auntie B, is because Obiri is dishing it everywhere in the world. It's because Obiri is nobody's mate at the end of the day. Right? It doesn't. This is why I keep telling them. They think it's about legalities. That's what Father Oluma was trying to say. It's not about the legalities of this stuff, right? Once you entangle yourself in a woman's body and soul, there are some skill sets that you need. Dragging yourselves on social media and fantasizing about protecting money that you don't have is not going to help you. You see what I'm saying? Women are special. That doesn't mean they are above you. What that means is that for you, if you want to understand how to do life with a woman in a way which is a beautiful thing, because women is, incubator. When anything they receive from you, they will multiply, reciprocate in folds. So that fairness is already dismantled. She's not playing fair with you. She doesn't decide to play fairness with you. She's a woman. Whatever she gets from you, she's going to multiply and reciprocate. That's not fair. That doesn't sound like equal to me. But if you lack patience as a man, if you lack emotional intelligence as a man, you can't see further than your stupid mathematical scientific rhetorics, right? In fact, it sounds kumbaya to you. It sounds to you like this one don't start with their religious stuff. But in the reality of things, when you sow those seeds into her, she's not going to give you seeds back. She's going to give you generations. That's biology. That's science too. No be so. But no, you just want to be happy over money. And to be, money is a byproduct. Money shows up based off of everything you've done before. It's not the other way around. You don't get money first and then no. It's the things you do that money follow. And the most impactful people in the world, it wasn't about money.
Absolutely.
The richest person in the world today is who? Elon Musk. Right?
Yeah.
But Elon Musk is not the most impactful person in the history of mankind. But Jesus has a bigger name for generations to come. We're talking about a couple of thousand years in the past now. Just because he was able to impact a few people's life that continue to tell the story.
And in another 2-3 years, you have another one that is richer than Elon Musk.
So
yeah,
true.
because money comes and he can lose $300,000 right now. Can you lose $300,000 right now? So, and by the way, okay, but you're right. It's just a conversation. No, it's not just a conversation. These conversations are sowing seeds. They are programming you for a few years' time when you're going to marry a woman or when you're going to get married to a man. This is programming you. So 7 years from now, you're divorced already, right? And then you're like all surprised. I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised because you're the same person that said get your own money. You're the same person that said protect yourself from this woman. But the only thing you're talking about is prenup. You're not protecting yourself from a woman with prenup. You're only protecting yourself from the courts. And by the way, they throw those ones out too in the courts. They will throw them out if it doesn't come off, because guess what? In the court, you think you want to play fair. The court is going to attempt to play fair for you. Then we'll see how it shows up for you. Because that's what they do there.
Man of Prestige, can I just say something?
Please feel free, interject me anytime.
It just seems to me that the impression I get is that there's this preconceived notion that women are going out to basically divorce and take their money. I give you my experience. My ex-husband, I had a better job. I had properties before I married him. When we divorced, he tried to take my properties off me. So people need to understand it's not always the bias that the woman is trying to take everything from the man. In my case, luckily, because I had a very good solicitor, he wasn't able to take any of my properties. But I'm just giving you my own experience, because there seems to be this notion that, in the Western world, the women are just taking money.
Yeah, good diggers.
We're not all like that. There are some women, as Auntie B said, that will take advantage because, will take advantage of that situation and the laws in the land.
Yeah.
When I divorced, I just wanted a custody agreement so we won't fight, to make sure that it was, no issues for the children going back and forth between us. That was my main concern. He didn't have anything anyway, unfortunately. You know what I mean? But what I'm trying to say is not always this kind of programming that the women want to take money off the men.
Yeah.
And back to what I said, women don't go into anybody. Nobody goes into marriage to divorce.
Yeah.
The
man also, I think you guys are hearing it for the first time. I tell you all the time that this men that are having majority of this conversation are hopeless romantics. They're just lover boys that have been hurt, and they do the best way they can handle this is to gravitate towards mathematics. That's their problem, right?
Yeah, no, definitely. I've had friends of mine that have divorced, and because the woman has initiated it, the best way to hurt her, they will basically hide the money and don't give any money to their children. But it doesn't hurt. It not only hurts her, but it hurts the children. But because of their selfish mentality, and you know what, I'm going to hurt her for divorcing me. The only person that actually gets hurt is the children. And people need to understand, men and women, parents need to understand that it's all about, I'm just such an advocate, it's all about the children. You swallow you swallow it.
Your pride.
You grin, and you swallow your pride. You grin, even if you want to slap him in your mind when he comes to the house to drop your child. Thank you very much.
This is the work. This is the work. Listen,
work.
It's easier said than done. That's the point. This is the work.
I do it. You think it's easy for me? It's not.
This is the work. We know listen, the easiest thing you can do, gentlemen, because you're a STEM, you're a professional, you're a tech guy, let's do the math. Let's go and pull out the statistic data, and then you still end up in the
fact that women, they said that women always they are the ones that are filed for divorce small. That's another card that a lot of brothers are pulling out now to say, why they are the ones that are always, because it favors them, because they want to take your money, because they want to take your money.
Because men will check out earlier.
Yeah, but mentally. No, sorry to interrupt you. No problem. Woman, wants to divorce and be a single mom. Straight up. No, I don't know for anybody. Nobody. You think it's easy to be looking after children on your own? You're the mother, you're the father. It's not easy. No sane woman that I know, will want to divorce just willy-nilly. So if these women are divorcing, there's a reason. And most of it is DV.
That's a reason. That's a reason. And obviously, men will check out mentally before they actually divorce.
True.
Right? So that's why the data is not showing it, right? So the data is if you're not going to interpret it properly, they are useless, essentially. You know. Auntie B, drop out ni. What happened?
Has she gone? Yeah.
Yeah, she probably will come back up because I'm sure she want to say
Because
proper
I wanted to say, like, my dad, I love him, and I don't know if I mentioned, you know, the story that I have with my mum and my dad. They're not together. My dad checked out almost 20 years ago. Checked out, was doing his thing in Nigeria with his second wife. It wasn't until last year that I had to physically say, "Mommy, you need to file for divorce," and I did it for her last year. So you're correcting what you're saying.
Because society wise, we don't have to be in that marriage. We could just be in the marriage on paper.
That. You know the Nigerian mentality. You can't divorce. Jesus said this. I said no problem.
Right. So man, we can take advantage of that. For me, for example, if you read our book, you will understand our story. I wasn't gonna file for divorce, but I wasn't gonna stay in the marriage either. How about that?
Okay.
Right? I don't have to stay in the marriage. I don't have to file divorce to get out of the marriage. Because society allow me to do what I want to do as a man, even if they see me out there messing with women. Even women don't judge me for that. Because they'll just be like, not just man, right?
I think I did it for the fact that I'm the oldest and I'm in my 40s. All of us have left. My brother's in the US. My sister is somewhere in the UK. It made no sense for my mum to be on her own and be called Mrs. Mrs. for what? You're married but single. You're married but single.
Yeah,
she's
I understand.
But single now, as far as I'm
But she's
concerned.
also didn't file the divorce because she's coming from that generation. The ladies nowadays, like, because that stat says that college educated actually initiate divorce 90% of the time. Because the more enlightened you are and understanding that society is going to judge you if you mess around, staying married, it just makes sense to go and pull the trigger at the courts, right? But as men, we don't have to do that, especially if we have children.
Yeah, but you know the funny thing is that if you see my dad and see my mom's fared better because, unlike what the preconception that, you know, most women marry for money, my mom was the one that pushed my dad to buy properties. My mom was the one that pushed my dad to do investments.
Yeah.
So it doesn't. This narrative, it doesn't fix all, you know, the box that I have in my personal experience. And coming out of the divorce, she's got a lot of investments, a lot of properties. She didn't take a penny from my dad.
Makes sense. It makes sense. It makes absolute sense. But you know, if we don't have the conversation and interpret the data and the stupid stuff properly, it makes more sense to spit numbers with spits all over the place. Oh, 80% does something, 90%. Why is she 150? I don't give a hoot what she wants. Let's talk about how you're interpreting this story, and that's how it's gonna mess up. Let me not curse. Mess up your future marriage. That's what I want to talk about. Yeah. Right?
I agree with the fact that you should come into marriage not as enemies. I did put it in the comments. And obviously I'm coming from a place where I've divorced. Personally, I'm not there yet to remarry. But if I want, the thing is, I don't want to be doing it so many times. So for me, if I get to a place that, you know what, I want to marry, I want to do it right. And I will never, ever enter marriage as enemies. I don't believe in separate bank accounts. I believe women should have our own money, but have a joint bank account with your husband. Build things together. Because the thing is, if you're going to have a negative attitude from the outset, that marriage is going to fail.
Yeah. So for example, that thing you just mentioned, having joint accounts, there's no one size fits all. Obviously, in any organization, it's a matter of you do need a joint account if you're running things together. You also need your own. I don't want to know when you buy a pattern. I don't want to know when you bought shoes. I don't want to have to be policing you on how many shoes you bought. Why? You should know everything you buy. You see, again, myopic mindset. I don't have to know every store she stopped by on the way. I don't have to. I agree. See, this is a longer conversation than any stupid one sentence start.
Yeah, I agree. I don't think that. I agree with you that you need to, if you're going into marriage, it's two becomes one. It's not I and I. It's we.
Literally, scientifically. Any one of those pragmatic nonsense you want to pull into this conversation, it's literally two people becoming one. It's not just spiritual. It's not just, the government is literally going to see it that way. They're going to compensate you accordingly because of that way. Then nature. The principles of life, two is better than one. Obviously, things are going to be more consolidated and you'll be much more resourceful, especially if
Exactly.
you're on the same page. Like all these people that are claiming to be more scientific in their rhetorics, they are the dumbest people on the internet. You need to pay attention to that. You need to ask further questions than numbers. The biggest scientists of our world, they don't go into a lab and say, what is the numbers? Okay, that's it. No, that's not how it works. They sit down in a boardroom and have conversations because there are nuances.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's one size fits all, just because of this example of this divorce, and everyone's, sorry to say, tapped into it. Yeah,
It sounds like a microwave solution. Just hide it. That's
Let me make
stupid.
you guys laugh.
Yes, sir.
You know, one day.
And I have Embassy here too. After Brother Patrick. Go ahead, sir.
When the kids were little, so my wife went to the store around 2:00. So I just look at the time, 9. Is this
Where
woman
is she?
alive? So I call her, I said, hey, honey, where are you? She says she's like this. Do you look at the time? So I'm so sorry.
Exactly. That's real life.
And you know what? When my wife come from store, you will say, did you slap them? What she will buy, you say, oh my God, this lady, she stays long at the store. But she buy good quality things at a very, I've worked in 2 good stores. At a very good price. Like, oh my God, this woman, she buys my stuff for me. So I don't really look at that and say, if you like, go to any stores. I'm just giving that as an example. She buys good stuff.
Yeah.
For herself and for me too. All my suits, she buys them for me. Go if I want to buy suit, we go together.
Yeah.
I worked at Von Mar before in the men's section, so I know about suits.
So you know about suits. So you'll be looking like, how did you get this? At what price? Like what? Right?
So it's all about understanding, my brother.
Yeah, it's about understanding. It's understanding. Understanding means, again, we're looking at this case. There are 2 questions that everybody was trying to answer before I go to Embassy. Is she a gold digger? Dude, you will never know. She had 2 babies for him. You will never know. Okay? Push that to the side. The other question is that was it a smart move? No! That's the worst way of protecting your asset. Putting your assets in the name of a relative is the worst way, including your wife. Is the worst asset protection when we're talking about money at that level. That's the worst thing I've ever heard in my life.
Our accountability prefect at Embassy, I want to see their faces.
Nibo. Oje.
I got that on my head, though.
Embassy, how now?
Oh my goodness.
What do you mean?
I'm good. How's everyone? How's everybody doing?
They are pretty ladies.
We're fine.
Let's people see them now. You know what I mean?
I beg, let's protect them because there's enough lame people on this internet that just want to draft people for no reason. Let's protect them if they want to be protected. And shout out to Auntie B. I know she had to go to bed. She even went extended her time because I only needed her for 20 minutes.
You go there water tomorrow. I go there. I will give you water tomorrow.
And I go there inside the chat. I go say inside chat, rooting for both of them. Embassy, how far now? How you doing?
I'm good. How are you doing? How are you doing, everybody?
What's your take on this whole thing, though?
Well, let me tell you this. I don't think I've ever shared that story in details, but I'm gonna share a little bit of my experience when it comes to divorce. And I'm glad for my other sister that's on the platform because I can relate to everything that she was saying previously. So it's like, you see, when my divorce was gonna start, and I think I shared this with you one time that I kind of removed myself emotionally first because that is the only thing that I was in control of, me, right? Me. That is the only thing at that time. As much as things was falling apart, the only thing I can actually count on was myself. So I put myself into therapies, right? I think I've shared that just by myself. And in the meantime, again, remember, I removed myself in all aspects of whatever marriage can look like. Okay. And my goal then was, I'm saying this because for people who are saying, oh, women, because they are in America or England, They want their money. They want to kick their husband out. Nobody, as far as I know, even in my situation, I didn't want to kick why would I want to kick the father of my children out? Why? What am I going to gain from that?
Right.
That I would want to kick the father of my children
That was where your mind was.
Right. So I started from the root. And that is for me to seek help for me first. Let me figure out whatever it is, let me figure me out. Yeah. In the process, when I was doing that, I find out that he went ahead and filed for divorce. Okay. And I remember I didn't know that he already went ahead and filed. And I remember I went for a walk, and there's something in me that says, hey, you need to go ahead and file for your divorce. Like, what is it that you are hanging on? It was his subtle voice, but it was clear, it was concise, there was no...
Are you still there? I can't hear you anymore. That's an example of the rock bottom that I said. Rock bottom is it's not a bad thing by itself. It's a place you get to that you have clarity that I need to change something. You know?
Dr. Shola.
I can't hear you. You're going in and out right now.
But seriously, $10.
Maybe you drop on
internet.
It should be that.
I said like $10 they pay for your
Okay, internet. Let's see. Okay, she came back as another person. Let's see. She's now 2 on the screen. Are you there? Mbasi, are you there? Nope. Let me drop her out on both ends so that she can come in fresh.
Oh, can you hear me now?
Say something, yes.
Where you they live?
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you now. Yes.
I can't hear you.
Uncle P. I'm here in the US. So it's like
they pay for your internet.
She's an exclusive part of those kind of parts of that's exclusive in the country, majority of the country.
Okay, very
by the way.
Close to Russia, I understand.
Yeah, right.
Very close
no, Uncle P, no. Anyway, so to cut a long story short, right then on the spot where I heard that voice, I text my lawyer, right, and I said I need to make an appointment because I feel like there's no need for me. There was no confusion. I needed to obey that voice.
No confusion.
That's how clear it was. There was no confusion with that for me. Yes. So it's like there's nothing else I can do then than to obey that voice. That's how clear it was for me. So when I text my lawyer and I said, I need an appointment. And then an hour later, he called me back and he said, oh, so what's going on? Because, he kind of familiar with the case in the past, whatever, call off, whatnot. And he said, so it's not working still? I said, no, it's not working. Like, I feel like I'm ready now. And he said, he told me, it was very surprising because he actually filed 3 weeks ago. And I was like, no. I said, are you sure? He said, he's an so person. I said, yeah. He said, yeah, he filed 3 weeks ago. And I said, how come I didn't know? Right. And he said, well, they sent the paper, but the paper kind of gets stranded somewhere in the system. It's supposed to send to him, to my lawyer, but it gets stranded so when I text him, he went into the system. That's how he found out. And you know what came with that paper? This is the story I want to tell. For people who think that women is out to get them, okay?
Or vice versa, of course.
Or vice versa, of course, right, yeah. Right. He won the full custody, he won the properties, and he want me to pay child support, okay? All 9 years.
Wow, and amazing. You see?
Listen, when my lawyer told me that, I said, you know what? I
need the sound effect that says, "Oh,
hey, I hear me."
Oh yes, right. Good. Anyway, so I told my lawyer, I said, give me like a day or two. Let me think about it, and I'll get back to you. You know what my lawyer said to me? He said, what do you mean you're gonna think about it? Did you hear what I just told you?
It's done.
Yeah, I heard you.
It's over.
Yeah, he won everything. I got it, but I need time for myself to just ponder on it, right?
To just process everything. I know.
Yeah, I needed to process it because again, I was in the process of getting to the good place. Remember, I was already in therapy before then, so it wasn't. So there's no rush for me when it's come to my emotion. Okay, I'm kind of a little bit then in control, not all, everything, but a little bit. So 2 days later, I called my lawyer. I said, listen, whatever that he wants, let him get it. The house, the kids, the child support, I'll pay. Let him get it. My lawyer said, okay, you need to come in. I need to see you. I need to see you face to face.
Yeah, the lawyer is not going to just take that. He has to protect your interest.
Conversation.
Yeah.
Right. And true, I went in and said, I just want to make sure you are in good place mentally. I just want to, I said, I'm good. Like I kind of thought about it because I know the person that I'm dealing with. I said, listen, we've lived together for this number of years. I do not want my children to suffer just because of this or that or this. I said, whatever it is, give it to him. I said, I'm going to do every other weekend.
No.
Whatever. Listen. Like,
I hear you.
You know what I mean? Like,
I'm acting like your lawyer already.
I know, right? Exactly. You know what? He was blowing fire on me. I remember that day. But anyway, and he said to me, think about it before I go give him the message. I said, go ahead. So he went ahead and responded back to him. And to his lawyer, and this lawyer, then maybe a few days after, they said, well, maybe they will do joint, they can do joint, whatever the case, they can do joint. Came to find out, remember I was telling you yesterday that in the state where I am, because of post-COVID, something changed, right?
Something changed, right.
The parent, it can, right. Only one parent can have, you cannot do share. And then that's where the information came in, like, you know what? It can only be one parent. And then the court eventually decided, of course, with the evaluation of both of us, that the kids belong to me, which I don't mind in the beginning. Of course, there's nothing else in this world I love more than my children, right?
Your mother, yeah.
Right. I said, okay, that's fine. So eventually I get what I want out of it. But the point I'm trying to make is he get what he wants from it either way, even though he started out in the kind of rough, controlling ways.
He was trying to take the upper hand. He was trying to beat you to it.
Yes. But he wasn't
playing fair. He wasn't playing fair.
No,
obviously.
He wasn't. And you know what? I wasn't playing fair either, because when the table turned back to me, I take full control of it. That's what happened.
Yeah, because if you're trying to play fair, remember that all of us were not attracted to weak people. It's a very weak angle to be looking for fairness when it comes to what we're talking about. In an active fight, is a very weak standpoint, because even when you think you're playing fair, there's blind spot. There are things you can see. This is where the lawyer comes in. Obviously, including their own pockets. They're trying to protect your own interest, but obviously, the better they can fight for you, the better their business is, right? Because by default, it's a fight, right?
Absolutely.
And when you're trying to play fair, there are loopholes, right? Let me just say this part. I don't like telling our stories here because it's all in the book, right? When my wife was about to file for divorce some years back, she said she wanted no context, nothing like that. To me, I want it to be fair too. It's not only you that want to be fair, okay? We want to be fair too, and I want it to be fair. But then, before I even talk to a lawyer or anything like that, which is probably going to be the next step, I was like, I gotta protect not just my interest, the interest of my kids. Because like I said, any person that gets into that mode where there is now fight, or they're trying to exit, or they're trying to leave, right?
What happened? What is it that you put on here? So dark on your face.
She didn't realize she's not muted. Can you mute? Let's see. Are you there? Embassy, are you there? Okay, I've muted her now. Good. All right. Oh, she unmuted back again. Okay, there you go. All right. Right? At that point in time, because I was trying to be fair, and now said I had to protect the interest of my kids. It's not just your idea of fairness. There's things in the blind spot. Okay? That's why lawyers will help you read and they help you interpret. Not only that, they gauge they size the other side up and see if they are trying to hurt you, and then they protect your interest. More importantly, again, protect the interest of the kids. Don't be trying to say all that fairness, let's be fair nonsense. It's lame angle to what we're talking about. It's very weak. Because it's not, you have to protect the interest of your kids. So you have to look at things a little bit deeper than surface level. This is why I said put yourself up that pedestal. You're not holier than the rest of us. You don't know what you don't know.
Because it's not fun. It's not fun at all. Nobody want to go. I don't know for men, but for women, it's not. And I'm sure for men too, who it's not fun for anyone, not for the kids. You know how much I'm paying in therapy for my children? I mean, like, don't even get me started on that, because again, me as a mother, if I'm having a hard time going through what I went through, I can only imagine what that feels like for my own children.
Right.
There's a long list of things that you have to undo. You have to relearn. You have to unlearn. I mean, it's
there's so much.
And if you don't use
there's
your
so many things you don't know.
And you as a parent, even for your, it's a lot.
Please, men's heart are so like they are like stone compared to women. I'm sorry to use that example. There was a case, 2 pastors. And one of the pastors moved to another state to my state. So I was there for her. The lady pastor, the wife. The woman gave birth 1 week. That was when the sheriff came. 1 week. That was when the sheriff came and dropped divorce letter.
Wow.
Both of them are pastors.
The wife and the husband?
The wife and the husband. They have a big church. I said I was involved. You know what the man said? He said, I don't care. Even though Jesus Christ come down. I was like, what? When the thing got set, when they finalized everything, it didn't take the man one year for the man got married. The woman is still
it was done.
Single now. The woman is still single now. Last time I saw her. So man, I just don't know.
This see, they will say that's an anecdotal experience that the data shows us. I'm telling you that data is exactly going to choke the life out of your opportunity, your chances at life and love. Data is lagging indicators. There are things that happened already. You're disconnected from learning how to build relationship in real time. The devil is using it to cast a thing in your, what's the word? A blinders in your face. You can't see what's going on in front of you. Gentlemen, you don't know how to recognize feminine women anymore. You don't know how to recognize submissive women anymore. Women, you don't know how to recognize good men anymore. You don't know how to recognize love. Rightfully so, because it makes sense that if so many people are hurting, that you try to protect yourself. But I need you to understand that the devil is a very wise something, right? When it comes for you, it's not going to come from the front. It's not going to come from where you can see everything. It's going to come from your blind spot. If you're a good Christian person, it's going to come to you looking like a good Christian person. Do you hear me? That's your blind spot. The typical Christian rhetorics is no longer good enough. The rhetorics, not the principles. The rhetorics no longer good enough to help marriages. Those people that you are looking at that come back from divorce court, a lot of them are Christians, good people try to do the right thing. They just don't know what they don't know. It's incompetence. It's not immorality. Is incompetence. Incompetence with respect to the times you live in. Nothing in life is constant. The only thing that's constant in life is change. Expecting that marriage will operate the way it worked 1960 is unrealistic expectations on your part. It's your fault. If I have to use the word fault, it is your fault. But we don't have to use the word fault. We could just say it's incompetence. It's time to start listening. Listen beyond the obvious. The obvious is that asking for 50% is unreasonable. You're right. If I stay with you at that surface level, you're absolutely correct, okay? Because after all, she wasn't the one on the soccer field playing, right? And this is somebody else's son. You're right, but somebody else's son has had 2 different grandsons for that person. So again, let's not make it about Hakimi. Let's just pay attention to, like, overall, right? The bigger picture, right? The bigger picture here is, number one, it's not wise, even your wife, it's not wise to put all your money, your assets, your fortune in the name of another relative, even your wife. It's a terrible strategy. It's stupid. Okay, that means you're thinking only one direction, including your wife. There are ways to protect your assets in real life. Okay, you're not protecting your asset from a person's or persons. You're protecting it from even yourself, your own bad spending behavior. Okay, that's number one side. That's number one. The other side, is she a gold digger? We don't know. Why? Because she's proven that if she's a gold digger, she's a hell of a gold digger. She was willing to put her body through the line twice. And if she's truthfully a gold digger, it's your gold digger. That wife of yours is your wife gold digger. Guess whose responsibility is? Yours. Yours. The leadership of our society is being attacked in terms of their mindset. Their skill set is being tampered with. Okay? And the way the devil is doing it is he will tackle everything else and then distract you, make you think you are making any sense out of yourself, including myself. You might want to shame me at this point in time. That's fine. And then attack you in the head. Okay? And then it's over. That's what he's doing right now. And I need black men especially to start paying attention. So we shouldn't protect the money. I didn't say that. I'm just saying if you want to protect the money, there are other things that you need to protect, not the money. Does that make sense? Downstream effect. There are other things you need to protect. One of those things you need to protect is the family structure, legacy, your mindset. You're not protecting anything if you throw all those things in the mud. Christians talking about she should just learn how to forgive and move on if she's truly a Christian. We're not talking about that. That's surface level talking. Okay? The best of your pastors are weirdos. You need me to spell that out for you? They're weirdos. Abi, should I start mentioning name or Yakilome? Them. Right? There are people that think they can survive in the world being the only rich people and then don't worry about social amenities. Let me not get there. I'm not going that direction because I think they also bring some kind of value, obviously, because you are following them. Let's focus on what's important in life. Okay? The worst problems you're going to encounter in life, money cannot buy it. Prenup will protect you, sure, financially. That's it. It will protect your stupid money that is stagnant, is in a lake. Okay? It will protect it, sure. But it doesn't protect you because I know you're a lover boy. I know that. I know you like the idea of a woman falling heads over heels in love with you. It doesn't protect you from that premium breakfast. It doesn't. So let me get some last words. I don't know, maybe not last words. We kind of did some nice justice. But I want to hear some things from you, ladies, and Brother Patrick. I didn't mean to say everything. Don't go quiet on me. Sorry.
Yeah, I think for me, you said everything that needed to be said because people are so kind of like protect your money. What about your legacy? I mean, if you come into a marriage from a standpoint where you don't even value your partner or your spouse as one with you, you have a problem. That marriage will not hold, and you have no business marrying. If that's the kind of mindset that you have, there is an attack on marriage because people are coming into marriage with very negative trauma from probably past relationships or issues where parents have divorced. There's been DV. It's broken people marrying broken people, having children marrying, being broken. It's like a chain reaction.
Exactly. Right? And you expect to create anything good. Why? Because you think you've protected yourself.
No.
Like you really think, you see, speaking of narcissism, you really think you can protect yourself? You think that high of yourself? Of protecting yourself?
As you said, it could have been, like we spoke earlier in the program, it could have been unintentional. But like you said, it doesn't even make sense putting it in his mother's name because it doesn't make any sense because supposing she turns around, I'm not saying she would, you just don't know people's intentions. You hear stories of families, especially in our culture, where you send money and things don't to family and you know how that turns out.
Yeah, so it doesn't make sense putting it in your own name.
No, I think personally, put it in a trust for your children. If you don't trust your wife, trust your children.
That's why trust funds are for.
Hello.
A bunch of lame people on the internet talking about, oh, she's a smart, she's so... Nah, stop the cap. Jesus.
Oh, that's Lord. What my children say, stop the cap. Funny.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just think personally, like you said, put it in a trust fund so that your wife that is a gold digger, quote unquote, can't touch it. And it just goes to the children. I mean, it's just maturity. The guy shouldn't have married in the first place. That's all I have to say.
Yeah, so that you're 24 years old, extremely high chance that you're still a stupid man. You don't hurt yourself.
You have no business marrying because it's just a sense of, because to me, why would you, even if it was unintentional, because like I said, they have all these child prodigies with football. I don't know whether he was a prodigy from 12, 13. Yes, I understand having that ring fence of protection, having the money and the property in your mum's name, but you're married now. Why would your money still be in that kind of structure? It makes no sense to me.
It makes no sense, period. Because there's somebody said it was financial advice. So I was like, that's a terrible financial advisor.
That's rubbish. I have a financial advisor, and that I wouldn't put all my. I mean, I'm not saying I'm rich, but I have a few investments and a couple of properties. That means why would I put it in my dad's name or my mum's name? That's rubbish. I have a trust fund for my two boys.
When it comes to money, right? Significant amount of money. If you've saved up to $200,000 or more, when it comes to that, it's very simple. It's not about marriage or women trying to hurt you or vice versa. You shouldn't trust yourself either.
Sure.
Okay. That's why I think at the end you shouldn't trust yourself. You should have a plan in place, a structure in place to protect the money so that you can keep building on top of it, so that you don't see this. That's why I said intentional, right? You will hurt yourself unintentionally with all that money. When you get exposed to certain access or money or opportunities too early in life, you're not going to listen, by the way, because you need to hit rock bottom. That's part of what I'm saying. You're not going to listen, but you have blind spots. The idea is to protect you. There are kids, trust fund kids. The reason why their parents will say they can't touch that money there's a reason why they said they can't touch that money sometimes until they are 5 years in their professional career, 10 years in their professional career. Because if anything that comes to you so easy or seemingly easy, because a footballer will seem easy. Yeah, a footballer will seem easy. You say he work hard. No, he's a footballer. That's all they knew. Okay, so it will seem easy.
But can I interject there, because you just mentioned trust fund babies, and this is why I said we need to educate ourselves, because for me personally, you would have a trust fund for your children. You have Steve Jobs and people like that. You don't think they have trust funds for their children to maybe 25 or 30 to make sure nobody touches it. It just seems to me that, no disrespect, you say he's Moroccan or whatever, he didn't get good advice. Because if the best thing you can do with all your millions is put it in your mom.
That's one of the excuses that they have been given. He came from poverty. Exactly. Yeah. They're saying that to justify. That's why the mother protected. No, I will use that to justify that. That's why he's moving in a very stupid way. If in fact it's stupid because we don't know the details, right? So if what they're saying is absolutely correct, like, oh, they were just trying to protect, I don't think that's what it was. I would probably bet that the mother was just, That's just how they structured from day one.
In the beginning,
Everything was
when it
going in our name.
yeah.
I would argue that. So this is not about Hakimi. It's about how you've responded on the internet. That's what I'm talking about, right? If you think it's a wise and smart thing to put things in person's name, including yourself, it's no wonder. You don't realize how weak you are as a human being. You need to protect yourself from yourself, even in marriage.
But man of prestige, it doesn't make any sense. Do you see Elon Musk with all his thousands of children? Do you see him putting his business in his mother's name? Do you see Steve Jobs? Bless his soul, is obviously deleted. Do you? I know he.
No, it's poor people that do stuff like that. It's poor people that do stuff like that. Yeah.
Sorry.
It's poor people that do stuff like that.
Again, I'm not trying to be rude, but he came from nothing, right? Because if you have a poverty mentality, you would not. Why would you put it in your mother's name? I'm sorry, it doesn't make no sense to me. You would have financial advisors, good financial advisors, to advise you to put it in investments in your
mother's name.
Trust fund. He has children now, two children. Am I correct? Put it in a trust fund, so no wife can touch it. It's poverty mentality.
They might say use your mother's credit, but not put money in her name. That's the slowest thing.
Why would you need to put your mom's credit when you're a millionaire? I'm sorry, it doesn't even make sense using anything to do with the mom. Why would you? You're a millionaire. You probably got a higher credit score than your mother. I'm sorry, it don't make no sense to me.
It doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense. But it makes sense, obviously, to the majority of people on the internet, which is why they've been rooting.
Let's not go there.
There's a video that I think we should play. I'm going to watch it together with you for the first time.
Sure.
So I think it's going to, let me see. Let's see. Where is this thing? Let me see. Okay, disappeared. Let me just go ahead and use another one. That's a video from this guy called, his name is Poor. Shout out to all the 90 people watching us right now. Shout out to you. Make sure you're subscribed so you can be a part of the Prestige family. We talk about this kind of stuff all the time. Let me see. Let's go to my watch later. I think I put it in the watch later. There you go. This is it right here. This young man, he calls himself the Poor Man's Podcast Reacts. So he called himself Poor Man. So you can already see where we're going with this. I do think majority of his points are lame. Yes. If you're a fan of Poor Man's Podcast Realities, one of the biggest platforms in the manosphere space, a lot of people respect him. He makes sense sometimes. He claims to be a married person. But the rhetorics are dangerous. And I want to start checking them one after the other as I catch them. So let me play this video and then we'll go for it.
In 4D chess, this guy's a genius. Hakimi's wife filed for a divorce and...
So he's reacting to the whole Hakimi thing. So I'm going to start from the beginning again. Can you guys hear clearly, by the way? Let's just make sure you can hear.
Yeah, I can hear.
Okay.
Ashraf Hakimi is playing 4D chess. This guy's a genius. Hakimi's wife filed for a divorce and demanded half of his property. When his 36-year-old wife took her 24-year-old husband to court, she expected to get an equal share of his 70 million net worth upon separation. But she was informed
Now keep in mind, what does this boy look like? He looks like how old?
He's not married. No way.
No. But that's not the poor man's. That's not the Poor Man's Podcast, by the way. That's not him yet.
Okay.
He's reacting to his favorite videos about this topic. I'm guessing. I could be wrong. Sometimes, to be fair to Poor Man's Podcast, it will surprise me. Like, oh, that makes sense. Sometimes. But you will see Poor Man's Podcast in a second. He's a black man. You will see.
Oh, is
that
it?
Showed his assets all belong to his mum. It turns out her millionaire husband owns nothing legally, and even the property is under the mother's name. Every month, Hakimi gets...
First of all, let's be clear. There's no such thing as own nothing legally if you actually own something. A good lawyer will find their way. They will take all that money away from you. A good lawyer, okay? There's no, including LLCs, limited liability, put it in your name so you can protect yourself. If there's big enough interest, if you hurt somebody and they need access to all that money, all of it is government money. Just so you know, okay? It's only when the interest is not big enough that you can, but you're right, it can protect you only to a certain extent, just so you know.
1 million from PSG and 80% is deposited to Mrs. Fatima's account. He has no property, cars, jewelry, or even clothes in his name. So anytime he wants anything,
he doesn't have clothes on his name. Well, somebody said he's 14-year-old. Yeah, this boy looks 14. But these are our men's mentor on the internet today. Just keep that in mind, at the back of your mind.
Has to ask his mum very kindly for it. So Hakimi will lose nothing from this court case, and that's the reason why.
The guys in the comments were roasting her. Your Honor, I'm still getting an allowance from my mom, but my wife's net worth is $2 million. Where's my half? Y'all broke up? Hakimi, nah, she broke. I'm up.
That's funny, but let's keep going.
Hakimi's mom got her own FIFA icon card coming with assist man. Every woman wants a son like Hakimi, but no woman wants a husband like Hakimi.
Here's my theory on what I think happened. And
this guy you're looking at is one of the lamest human beings.
I've seen him before. I've listened to a couple of his podcasts. I've heard it before.
Yeah, this is
I
fresh.
cannot stand this guy. I'm not lying, and I've never listened. Like, if you open his mouth, I'm logging out.
Yeah, he's one of the lamest men on the internet. Yet he's one of the biggest mentors of our young boys on the internet. Keep that at the back of your mind.
He has a big following. Yeah.
Yes. All right.
Just so you guys know, in Middle Eastern culture, right? Middle Eastern culture, in the Islamic faith in general, it's fairly taboo to marry a woman older than you. All right, it's looked down upon.
So they always fantasize. American children, this is one of them, always fantasize about the Islamic culture and the the world of the the other side of the Western world. They're always fantasizing about it, thinking that it's somewhat better for men. Okay, let's continue.
It's not really, it's regardless of what country you come from. Sudan, Morocco, Egypt, anywhere in the Middle East. It's not common for you to marry a woman older than you, especially if you have money.
First of all, he might be right in terms of paper, marriage-wise, but it's not uncommon that men will fall in love with a person older than them or sleep with them, okay? Or that women that are older are getting with young men for their own enjoyment and pleasure. Okay, if it was legal, then they will also write it in paper too, right? But if it's against the religion and stuff like that, they will shy away from it. They don't want to be shamed. But everything that's wrong in the Western world is being practiced even worse in the Middle East, just not on paper. Gentlemen, pay attention.
Status. So this is what I think happened more than likely. His mom saw that he was marrying an older woman, sized her up, met her a few times, like, you're gonna put everything under my name. I don't think this woman has good intentions, etc.
That's the fantasy. I don't think that's what happened. I think everything was already going in her name from day one. That was just what they did. Now, it could be that he's just that lame. That's why he's going to lose all that money at some point. But if he's that lame.
You know one thing, Ola? You know one thing that's really hicking me with this situation is that the people are focusing on the age. She's a gold digger, she's a lion digger, whatever they think she is. Everybody lose track of what caused the marriage breakdown. I mean, really, like what the cause of the marriage breakdown. Nobody's even talking about that at all.
The allegations, none of that.
Can we learn something from there?
Can I interject? I've been quite vocal that the difference between my ex-husband was 2 years, and my partner that I'm being with, he is 5 years younger than me. I have no shame in saying it. So, and I have no shame in saying it. So, if anyone wants to age shame me, you know me. I don't give a damn, to be honest. But I think age shaming, to me personally, is very distasteful, because yes, if it's, I don't know, is it 12 years? That is a lot. And I can understand people's perception, because that's, to me, is a whole generation. A generation in the
it is a lot. It is, and I said that yesterday. It is a lot.
It is a lot personally for me, but I personally, as a mother of 2 boys, would question it. So my question is this year: why did she agree for the son to marry if she always had a problem and they had that type of issue? To me personally,
exactly,
no business marrying at that age, period.
Exactly. And if she had that much control, as people are fantasizing that she just took control, she will stop that whole marriage from the beginning.
Standard.
But she clearly doesn't have that kind of control.
Because it seems to be every podcast is, they're now saying 24, 36. I mean, I find it very distasteful. If it was the other way around, there wouldn't be a problem. And I don't do double standards. Same way that, if you're gonna do it for 12 years, the same with a guy. I personally believe that.
Yeah.
I mean, for at a certain age, it's not appropriate. For me, 12 years is a lot, but I'm not gonna age shame her
Yeah.
You know, because people, you love is love. Love is blind. You do what you want to do.
Well, here's the thing. She hopefully, let me say like that, she probably had unrealistic expectations too. If you are a 31, 32-year-old woman who married a 19-year-old successful person, I don't play fairness here. If that marriage ended up in the poto, like for example, the bad behavior that could have led him to the allegations, you deserve all the name shaming that comes with that. You should know better.
I think there has to be some kind of accountability, because I know how I was at 19.
Yeah.
I was not mature enough to marry anybody. I married in my 30s. So personally, for me, accountability of that, you have no business dating or even marrying someone at 19. They do not know themselves.
Now, the flip side of that is that mothers, your 19-year-old son is a grown man. He will be held accountable like a grown man if he does something stupid, just so you know, okay? But let me see. EE, talk to me. Who is this?
Hi, Ola. It's Eunice here.
Hi, Eunice. Hang in there with me. It's going to be a good day. You called in. Hold on, okay? Hold on.
No, I just needed to speak on the legal aspect of things very briefly, and I'll leave the studio.
Let me finish this video. Are you in a rush?
No.
Let me finish this video, and then we'll talk.
Okay.
All right.
I love you. I'm going to let you marry her and do what you want. But to be safe, put everything under my name.
BS.
I guarantee.
He's fantasizing.
Guarantee, because him to be 24, to have that kind of foresight and that wisdom, to be sexually inexperienced, to make a dumb decision like marrying an older woman like that, that doesn't make sense for him to also put everything under his mom's name. Does that make sense? Like the stupid's name. So I guarantee his mother had some play and saying, "Yo, you're gonna put everything under my name because I don't trust this chick.
Maybe some play.
I think she's trying to marry you for ulterior motives. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna protect your assets."
In the last
you're gonna put it on my name.
She might not be a gold digger, but I lied. She's 36 years old and he's only 24 years old. And they've been married for 3 years. Meaning she was 33 and he was only 21 years old when they first got married. Let's just be honest.
All right, so far, he's making sense, but he hasn't mentioned the allegations that triggered the reason why she's looking for a divorce. He hasn't mentioned that. Let's give him benefit of the doubt. Maybe he will.
What would be the main
This is Paul Man's podcast, by the way, the one in the corner. If you're wondering who the person is, this guy right here.
motivation for a 33-year-old woman to marry a 21-year-old guy?
Yeah, that could be the case too. You could be
I could
BBL'd
just
up.
be
I'm
one-
not sure.
I am BBL'd up. Is that a problem?
Nah. I mean, I can fuck with a manufactured bitch.
A manufactured, Jesus Christ.
Manufactured bitch for sure.
A manufactured pineapple.
You're a victim. He's a 10, but he takes steroids.
Oh, because
Okay, explain it.
Because if he takes steroids, he's not even the man. He's not even trying to get big for himself. He's being a wuss. Cheating his way through it.
Are you guys against implants?
No. I say do whatever the fuck you want with your body.
Body your choice, right?
Yeah. Your body, your choice.
Modern women.
We got him.
We fucking got him.
Yeah, I don't recommend either of those. Steroids gonna have you looking like SpongeBob with the blow-up arms. And women with implants got more plastic than the Pacific Ocean. You might as well be a
With photo vibrance,
All right, let me
you
skip
transform
that.
any photo into a mesmerizing moving image in just a few clicks.
blow-up doll.
What is your best advice on love?
Best advice on love.
Have you ever been in love?
Yeah, of course.
Are you in love right now?
No.
Yep. Oh, he said no.
So you're single or married?
Married.
Oh my god! Oh my god!
City boy! City boy!
He cold. It's an evil world we live in.
That's where he's gonna go!
Let me.
Wise words from a wise man. There ain't no.
All right, so let's see what the wise words are.
You in love?
Yes. Okay.
Hey guys, remember with springtime approaching, man, don't let that $27 sundress cost you $100,000 in child support.
Wise words from a wise man. There ain't no simping in his turn.
Sundress.
He ain't never seen a turtle with speed and a girl he needs.
Should get enough validation from your wife, and your wife should get enough from you. She should be inspired by you, and maybe if you had a six-pack.
That young man at the top is sounding like somebody that has wisdom. I don't know what the guy down there is gonna say yet. Let's see.
She would be more inspired by you, and she wouldn't post thirst traps on Instagram.
What's the point of getting married if you're gonna get with somebody that you don't need validation from at some point? I don't think you should be needy about validation. I think you should have more than enough validation coming out of you. But the truth is that if they can't validate you, they can take away validation from you. They can make you feel like, shh, right? Because they have that much power, because you're doing life with them, right?
So what do you do for a living? You know, I'm the CEO of my OnlyFans account. I'm an entrepreneur and I invest. So you say ass, huh? No, I'm a boss. I work for myself. I am the CEO.
So one of the problems is, I'm just trying to get you to see where they're coming from. And to be asked a question earlier, why is it that they talk like this and all that kind of stuff? Because the way they think of women is OnlyFans girls, okay? Majority of women are not OnlyFans girls. That's what you're seeing going on here. Women who do OnlyFans, I'm a boss because I own my own OnlyFans account, right? That's not the woman you're trying to marry. There's a good chance that when you do meet a woman that you can marry, you're not able to recognize her because all you see is OnlyFans. All you talk about is OnlyFans. Your biggest mentors online, all they talk about is OnlyFans girls, IG models. This is where the conversation, I need you to understand where all the conversations are coming from.
A Fortune 500 business. Do you sniff the dirt under the fucking keyboard keys? Bitch, you might want to stop. You sell ass. I'm a fucking independent woman. You heard what I said?
If I make most of my money from slinging ads on YouTube, I'm a YouTuber. If I make most of my money by shooting a basketball, I'm a basketball player. If you make the majority of your money by selling ass, I don't care about the other 5 job titles in your bio. You're a sex worker.
This is a very important message to all my brothers who want to get married. You men go look for looks, but your looks will not raise your children and will not be your wife. You can have a wife who's absolutely stunning, but...
All right, so I'm going to leave it at that, okay?
Yeah, I've had enough.
They will still look at looks. You're not solving any problem jumping on the internet if you're hurt and repeating stupid rhetorics. You're not solving any problem. You're not addressing the real issues. Men will still look at looks. That was never the issues. That will never be the issue, okay? We're stimulated, not just men, what we see, by what we sense, ears, nose, like anything, senses. That's why they call it senses, right? You're not really saying anything new, nothing. So I'm done with that right there. But again, when you do stumble into those guys, you know who they are. These are where the conversations are coming from. I don't want us to do an echo chamber where you don't know. Just like, let's just pretend they don't exist. No, these are people raising your sons, especially if you're working more than 35 hours a week outside of the house. Eunice, how are you? Did she leave? Okay, she's still here. Hey, talk to me. How are you?
I'm here.
Yes.
So I didn't really want to discuss this Hakim thing at all. I didn't want to get involved, but it's everywhere. It's everywhere. So you cannot really avoid it. I do understand that if he signed a contract and he was a minor below 18, he had to have somebody who is an adult to sign on his behalf, right? As a player.
Yes.
Now, that's understandable because then the mother could have stepped in as the adult, having custody of his properties and things like that at that point in time. But when he turned 18, he became an adult. He had the capacity to sign contracts on his own.
Yes.
And my submission could be based on, different jurisdictions. I don't know the law where he's at. It's what I'm submitting on is not most likely not applicable there. What I'm submitting on is applicable most likely just in North America and Europe, England. So he turned 18. He's capable of signing contracts on his own, contracting a marriage and all of that. So you mentioned about you having a lawyer who can, maybe he thought he was being smart by having his mother take care of all his properties. But that is, at the end of the day, the court will look at it like, when you got married, all your properties can be traced from the point when you got married until the day the marriage will end.
Yes.
Financial statements will be needed. Every year you file taxes, all of that will be required. For 3 years, the court will expect you to file those documents in court. All your financial statements will be filed in court. For the last 3 years, you file taxes. Okay? That in itself is going to give the court a sense of belonging of how much you earn every year. Then the doctrine of tracing can also be done. There can be investigators to trace each and every property you own.
Yep. Thank you. Are you a lawyer?
Yes, I am.
Oh, there you go. That, to me, that makes common sense, but I learned a long time ago to stop calling things like that common sense, because it looks like it's far from a lot of people. Continue.
Yeah. So when the doctrine of tracing is done, where they trace all your properties, all that information is filed before the court, what the court will do is they'll subtract. Let's say you had property before you got married. You had a lot of property probably before you got married.
Yep.
When you got married, you added property until the date when you separated. So court will be able to subtract the value of what you had before your marriage.
Yep.
And then they will focus on what you earned while you were married. That will be divided, and they will look at it like, to be on a fair side, how much is your spouse, maybe the wife, earning now, and how much are you earning now?
Yes.
Who is going to have custody of children? Are you going to have shared custody? Are you going to have whole custody of the kids? If you're going to have shared custody, this is how we shall divide the property. If somebody is going to have sole custody of the children, and you're just visiting or having them every other week or any other weekend, and which means the other party is going to have 60% of childcare, of them taking care of the children, and they are the primary resident of the children, they'll have to get more from you. This is how you begin paying child support. That's how they go about it.
Yep.
So in the Western world, you cannot really hide your property. When you're in the divorce court, all that will come out.
Does France and Spain count as Western world?
They do, but they could be applying different laws. They could be applying what they call civil law.
Right.
I know Britain and Canada, we do apply common law. And I think some parts of the US as well, some states. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that issue of, he's hidden his property, he's very smart. That's not smart at all. Actually, the court will get an inference from that you did it in bad faith.
Thank you.
And there are penalties to that as well.
That's like mic drop right there.
Yeah, so that's really all I wanted to say. I feel like there's a lot of ignorance out there, and people are making, this wild talk and supporting this guy without any basis to their argument.
Just emotions.
Yeah, it's just emotions, So it's unfortunate, but that's how it's done.
Yeah, absolutely. That's why I'm asking here, because the football clubs, did they sign, is it her name as adult that's on those contracts?
So since he turned 18,
since it's an adult,
in his name. Yes, since he turned 18, it's in his name.
So
if he got married before 18, that is also taken into consideration, because at that point in time already, he was already earning property. Yeah. So for court to calculate these things, they have to know the date when you got married and the date when you separated. Very important. Those two dates.
Yeah. And it's like, can I get 20 more likes on here? Thank you, ladies and gentlemen of Prestige. Thank you. Hit that like button. That's why I'm asking. That's why I'm asking this question. Are all his football contracts, I guess, signed under the mother's name? Because the contract is what determines who is earning, right?
So for instance, let me give you an example. A is driving A is driving a car, and B is a minor in a car.
Yes.
Okay? They get an accident, and B is a minor. He wants to sue A. Because he's a minor, he cannot sue. He must get a litigation guardian. The litigation guardian can be his mother or his father to sue on his behalf.
Yes.
It does not mean the litigation guardian is now assuming the entire role of that lawsuit. But they're just doing it on behalf of this person until they turn the age of majority, which is 18.
Right. And if the minor impregnated persons, would they be held accountable if they hurt persons and they are earning money and there's a lawsuit against that empire?
If I beg your pardon, I didn't hear that.
If there's a lawsuit against the empire of a minor, for example,
if there's a lawsuit against an estate of a minor, there'll always be somebody, an estate trustee or somebody who is older, an adult, who will hold that lawsuit on behalf of the minor.
Is that estate held accountable? Are they going to be accountable?
Yes. If anything does happen and maybe they lose the case, the estate will have to pay for all the damages.
So let me make sure I address the other side of it. The estate of a dead person, a person that's no longer here.
Yes.
Are they accountable?
Yes, they are. They are.
All right. I think that's mic drop right there. Hide money like a bunch of lames on the internet. Anyway.
There are legal ways of to use the word hide is
to shield. Yes, of course.
To protect. Yes, there are legal ways to maneuver these things, and you will not be looked at as doing it in bad faith.
Absolutely.
Yeah. For instance, you could set up a trust fund.
Yes.
You can also be very open, actually just draw a prenup.
Yes, that's what prenups are for. That's what LLCs are for. That's what limited liability companies are for. There are proper ways to do these things, but the idea is not to protect against persons of interest. Because, like you said earlier, if you're going to tamper with good faith, that's a problem. It could be we're protecting this so that there's no liability attached to this entity. This legal entity is responsible for certain things. We just want to separate the personal liabilities from, then we can have a conversation.
Even that, when you draw a prenuptial agreement or a domestic agreement, the court will still have to look at it.
Yes.
For the reason that they want fairness. There are things which you cannot draft in a domestic agreement which the court will accept. There are things which you don't have jurisdiction over. Only court has jurisdiction over. Issues like child custody. Issues like matrimonial home. You will not draft it by yourselves, and court will not look at it and review it and not say it's either fair or not fair. No, there are issues that you don't have a say over.
Yes, that makes sense. Now, are you in the US or in Europe?
No, I'm in Canada.
You're in Canada. Okay, do you have notary public on your end?
Yes, we do. Yes,
That's the whole point of certain documents that they require you for notary public, or they require to actually file it. At some level, they require to file this in the government house. It needs to be filed. You can't just pull it out of nowhere under your pillow and say.
So the whole point of you having a prenup or having a domestic contract, a good lawyer will advise the both of you to go and seek legal advice from different lawyers. You get your own lawyer, I get my own lawyer, they advise me, and then we come back together with a mutual document. So we are both now informed legally.
Yes, informed to protect your interest. This is not about fairness. That's not relevant. This is about protecting your interest, because there are just things that may be in your blind spot. And then if a lawyer doesn't advise you to go and find your own lawyer, it can become a liability for them as well.
Exactly. So it's very important. When you hear people saying, "Oh, I can get away with this," it's very sad, because eventually when these things happen, it hits them so hard, and they cannot believe that they feel like the legal system is very unfair to them.
Exactly.
But that is, if you had educated yourself and known what it entails to have a divorce, what you're likely going to lose, then you'll handle yourself better. But did you go in the marriage with the intention of getting a divorce in the first place?
Probably not, which is why they ask you to protect yourself. You were in love.
Exactly.
You were caught up in your own emotions.
Yeah,
like
and emotions.
Most of us.
Emotions are not anything that the law will look at, not at all.
It's
totally disregarded.
Yeah, because that's not fair to be looking at emotions, right? It's not fair.
Some people are more emotional than other people. So,
yes. And the weight of emotions on people varies from people to people. What you may consider fair is not fair to the other person.
Yeah.
So we can't. So it crosses each other out. We can't use that.
Exactly.
You know?
Exactly.
And the moment, this is how you know you're caught up in your emotions. You're trying to make fairness relevant in the conversation.
True.
That's precisely how I know that you're caught up in your emotions. If as
Your
an individual
feelings.
you're saying something is not fair, it's not that, like, you're caught up in your emotions.
Mhm.
In the court, they will use that language in a different way, but that's because they're trying to shut yours down, essentially.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
no, we don't. You don't determine what's fair. This jury will look at what's fair and they will decide to put you away for life or not. Even if
Yeah,
you
and
find it
that's
unfair.
why, in a divorce court or in many of these courts, if you are, let's say you don't have enough money, you're of low income, that's why they will always advise you get legal aid, get a legal aid certificate. You need legal advice. You'll need to have a lawyer who can advise you, because as a lay person, you cannot think about the repercussion of some of the decisions you're making right now.
Right. Because I get it. You might say, no, I just want to be free. You're caught up in your emotions. I just want to move on from this marriage. Give him anything he wants. You're caught up in your emotions.
That's why I was very surprised when one of the callers called and
Embassy.
she said she knew her estranged husband, and she didn't care about letting him have sole custody of the children, the property. Oh my God, it's just, I was just like, oh my God.
God bless her heart. God bless her heart.
No, but see, at the end of the day, court looked at many aspects of the things. Maybe the children were young in age, they still need their mother's care. What kind of job was the man doing? Does he have time to take care of those children as a sole custodian to the children? Maybe no. That's why she ended up having sole custody of the children.
Yeah,
the court looked at all those aspects, even if he was demanding. That's why they're saying this woman is asking for 50%. Asking for 50%, there's no guarantee that the court will give you 50. Actually, the court may give her 70%.
They may. Exactly.
Yes, because you have to make a plea anyway. When you go before the court, you have to pray. You have to pray or make a plea before the court. If you don't pray for a relief, how will the court know what you want?
Yeah, exactly.
So you have to plead for a remedy or what you want. And when you plead that, then the court will look at the facts.
They will look at
they'll
it.
decide. Exactly.
They will tell you are mad, or they tell you, okay, let's go. Right? There is a court that will make that final decision. Yeah.
Exactly. So
thank you so much.
I thought that
helps.
was interesting. I just wanted to speak on that and give you a heads up, or just enlighten some people out there.
Thank you. I appreciate you. I try,
You're
but I'm not a
welcome.
lawyer. I can only try so much. So, but you helped us adjust things a little bit, at least from a standpoint of a person who does this professionally. Because again, our society, especially in the Western world, even in the Nigerian books of laws themselves, or in Africa, they have these things there. They're not designed to entertain random, irrational emotions. They're not designed like that. And if you go into that space without proper representation, because you're trying to be nice or you think you're holier, that's not how it works. If you can want to play fair, that's fine. There's nothing wrong with you. You're a normal human being. But you need to understand that there are blind spots, and you need to seek proper representation. And
when you have children, you really, really need to try and be fair to the other party as well, because there are children involved. That is something, that's a bond you've created for life,
Yes.
Divorce itself,
that's why I say I understand where the whole fight for fairness is coming from.
Divorce itself is a very painful process. It's legally speaking, it's described as a second deleting. I don't know.
I see what you mean. Yeah. I know
it's described as a second deleting, apart from the other, obviously, the other one, which we are all going to do.
The second deletion, yes.
It's not just the financial aspect of it. It's so emotionally draining.
It's draining for all parties involved.
For everybody. Like, you reach a point where sometimes you don't even, the things that you started fighting about, after about 2-3 years, and you still have a matter pending in court, you don't even want to fight over it anymore.
Because you're drained.
Yeah, it's so emotionally exhausting.
And then you now, maybe it's the first time you'll be able to comprehend that that was all not worth it.
And believe you me, Ola, when people face divorces, You don't understand what people become. They are strangers. They are so cold. They are so harsh. It's
Yeah.
shocking.
It's not
like,
a fair fight.
is this the person I fell in love with?
Yeah.
It's a very painful process to see all these things in the courthouse every day, like all the time. It's not funny.
Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense. Thank you so much.
You're welcome
for coming up, and you're welcome anytime. You know that.
I know there are so many things you speak about that is so deep, it's beyond my knowledge.
Anytime you find an angle, you're welcome. That you can come up with some, help us. Because I don't understand the legal. I can understand it if you say it, but I don't always know how to say it when it comes to the legal terms. Because one of the biggest tools that the lames use are the legal stuff, right?
Yes.
So and they try to come from a pragmatic standpoint, and they use all the legal stuff. And I know that they're surface level, but I know that we also need to be patient and break it down at that level before we get too much into the emotional stuff, because they disconnect if we don't address it. So I want to be able to address that. So anytime you get a chance, you have time, you want to come up and help us break that down, because clearly you can connect it, right?
Yes,
Please feel free. You're welcome anytime.
Okay, thank you so much. You have a good
right.
evening. Let me go back to the comment section.
All right, bye.
Okay, bye.
Yeah. All right, let me get some last word from Honey Babe. Onyi Damola, is that your Yoruba name or something? Are you Onyi?
My name is Oyi Kosola.
Oyi Kosola, what a beautiful name. And you're calling yourself Honey Babe.
That's the Honey Babe, yeah.
Oh, Lord. Oyi Kosola is such a sweeter name than Honey Babe. But I'll take it. Give us your last word.
Yeah, I really want to kind of like thank the lady, I was going to say solicitor, but lawyer, sorry.
Right, Eunice.
Yeah, Sister Eunice. I really appreciate what she said, because that was similar, because you have, when I did, obviously, I initiated the divorce, and then you have to kind of tick certain remits, who's going to pay for this, joint custody, shared custody, and it is always like that. And obviously the judge has to obviously make the final decision. And so it's very similar to that. So maybe the ex-wife put 70 because she had to put something, or 50, she had to put something. Doesn't mean, because she has to put something down. Obviously, social media's got hold of it and spun it and, and just escalated it and made it what it is. But it could be a simple thing where she had to put something in that box.
Yep, that's what that is.
It just seems to me everyone's kind of like spat it out. Don't even know the context of what is going on, if it could be a case of something that was ticked on a box. But that's social media for you.
It's the same thing. It's the same place where they get the 80% filing for divorce number from. When you get to the court and you're filing for divorce, they have to put something down. It's the same place where they get irreconcilable differences, finances, and infidelity from. When you put something down, that becomes data. That does not translate all the way to everything that happened.
Because the thing is that
space.
As you said, you're just seeing statistics that 80% of women are initiating divorce. But are you actually looking at the reality of their experiences of why they're initiating the divorce? It's very quick to just see something as a number and not know the context and break it down to the actual experience of why these women are actually divorcing.
Precisely. Yep, exactly. But we're here. We're having a conversation. You're welcome to come up anytime.
Thank you. I thought I'd just say hello to you today. Thank you so much for having me talk and everything. Have a lovely evening. You take care.
You too. Thank you so much. All right. My uncle, my brother, my friend, Brother Patrick. Thank you for your patience, sir. Are you still there with me by any chance?
And I'm here. I'm sleeping.
Ekpele, sir. Ekpele. Let's get your last word on this matter so that you can go to bed. I know we have a work week ahead of us too.
Well, I'm just going to say that you guys should take it easy.
Relax. Go take it easy, right?
Yeah. You take it easy, man. Let me be vulnerable. When I was a child, I had issue with my wife. And when I always talk about divorce, my sister, she's been in US up to 50 years. You say I should never mention it.
Because it's not the easy way out.
It was after that I realized that she was right. He said I should never mention divorce.
But Patrick, I beg, let me interrupt you for 1 second. You know, I have to take care of my supporters. Shout out to my brother Wrench Turner. I appreciate you, brother, for this right here. I'm gonna play this to bring you into our world a little bit. You know, make sure you stand up and you dance with this guy right here. Try it, just try it. Let's see how far you go with it. Okay. All right, sir. Continue, sir. Sorry for the interruption.
You know, women are actually trying.
You said what?
Women are strong.
Ah.
Women are the receiving end. You know, they're emotional beings. So they're actually trying.
Yeah, the emotional turmoils of this, I believe, is mostly on the end of the women. The financial aspect of things, all the most tangible things, but even also emotional, because it's just that men deflect a lot when it comes to the emotional aspect of things. It hurts just as much, but they can deflect back and forth and act like they're macho. And this is why a lot of them are self-buying, self-deletion. These men, because they bottle things in, right? And the only time they want to talk, they just want to be loud, and they think that's their power. And there's no power in that at all, you know. So, but everybody, like we say, everybody hurts.
To women, but make them strong as well. Depend on the way you take it.
It depends, because it's emotions. Who is measuring? What are you measuring it on, right?
Yeah, like those that speaks on Obodembo and must tell you they are strong. They are assertive despite the fact that they were wounded. You know.
Yeah, it's the defense. It's the defense.
Yeah,
we need each other. We need each other.
Yeah, but you know, everybody needs love.
Everybody needs love. Yeah, that's a fact. Yeah.
And if you look at it the other way, the way God created women, if men could be just simmer down and be patient a little bit, at the long run, you enjoy your woman.
Yeah.
You enjoy them because as they grow up, they become to be more matured. The tree they snap on, if the love is really there, you see them, they just be simmer down and just be saying, is it not the same woman?
Yeah.
Because some men are not apart from women, we know women. One thing I don't like a nagging woman. Yeah.
So what's your way of avoiding a nagging woman?
I can't deal with that.
if Madam start acting up and she start nagging suddenly right now, are you just gonna say I can't deal with that?
Let me give you a brief story.
Okay.
When I was in Nigeria, I had some foreign students that came to Nigeria. So one of them now liked me when I was in. So we were now dating.
You know you're the ladies' man, brother Patrick. You know that.
What she said to me, she said, Patrick, please, just don't talk to my friends. I said, what do you mean? I said, no, it's going to pie me, you know.
Kilo de.
If I cross that line, I said, you know, I'm not like that.
So
this there. Yes. Not be play or lie. She like me.
No. Bike. It's not do or die.
I should go. You know, she said she didn't trust this friend at all. I said, what do you mean? She said, I'm not going to do that. As a matter of fact, I never knew she liked me. One of my friends, that one has been working, came over, give her one girl. And that's okay. I have a friend, you know, I've always been teaching her. But when the guy took us out to eat, and I told the girl asked, no, Patrick, no, I don't like him. Says, you are like. I said, what? It's me? I don't know.
We need healthy people.
So she just told me, I said she likes me, but I shouldn't cross the border and go and meet the friend. I said, no, I'm not like that. So what I wanted to bring out from there,
Yes, sir.
Before we graduated, as soon as we graduated, I got a job. So I always go to school, she was sit there during my lunch in the same city. Hola, the day I didn't go, she was mad.
She was livid, huh?
She was mad, seriously, like maybe I've gone out. I said, I work in an office. I just take my lunch. So I said, man, I don't feel deal with this.
Yeah, that's a lot. We need our partners to be also self-sustainable, especially emotional level.
Yeah.
That's pilot. We don't need all that. We don't need to
some
be.
women is packed like this so loud you can't control them. I can't take that. I can take anything, but when it comes to that level, I can't take it.
That's too much. The honest truth, Brother Patrick, is that's too much for anybody. We're human beings. We're not God. If other people have to carry your emotional weight, they will help. That's about it. Help meet. That's about it. But in terms of carrying the whole weight, that's not healthy. But that would be.
Is this thing I said that spiritual level of a marriage, your man is surpassing just the physical.
Father Oluma, right?
Say what?
Who said that?
No, I said it the other time. Maybe.
Oh, you said that? Yeah, yes, of course. You said that now. Yes.
Growing, we want to be there for one another. When the kids are even growing, there's issue. You need to be there. What have you brought to the table? You need to, go together. You can go through some medical issue, children issue, life issue. Oh, that's why you really need one another. Yes. You have to be there. Apart from I can imagine you and your spouse are not a good time, and your children now brought their own issue again.
Yeah.
Teenagers, they are growing, there will be issues. That's why you see wayward kids, because wayward kids might be as a result of your own issue that you don't treat. You don't find out that there's a multiplier effect.
Yeah.
I said it, with it also, but if they fire me at work, if I come, I will just say, come home, I'll get another job. But once the home front is not good, you will feel somehow.
Yes, so it's a tamper with everything because we are all humans.
Yes. Because you are Lola in good, and that's why you are confidently doing your show. You can invite her. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, you can see pastors and their wife are not together. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Pastor is in Nigeria. The wife is in UK. It's in London. It's not coming. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? So, you see. But if they are in one accord, they are together. By the time you bounce to the pulpit, by the time you make one or two sentences, we'll talk about your wife.
Benny.
Oh, but some people will say it's not their luck.
That's part of the problem. They think they just say you're just lucky. Yeah, that's what they're saying. They say you're lucky.
Allah, you are lucky to be married.
I think I'm lucky, but luck and the need for skills and game and the need to know what you're doing. They're not mutually exclusive. Both can be true at the same time. I can be lucky. It could also be because I've also taken the time to learn how this works, right? Because when they say that it's like a cop out. I don't need any game. I don't need to learn anything. You just happen to be lucky. That's the angle you're coming in.
Like one of the girls working under me just approached me, say, "Have I cheated on my wife?" I said, "No." He said, "Never." I said, "Never." I said, actually, before I got married, I dated 2 girls before, even before I became born again. I said, I must be born here. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I said, but I've never, since I got married, I've never cheated on my wife. He said, never. I said, yes. I said, what do you mean? He said the boyfriend cheated on him. Have you watched this program that they say ask the pastor?
No, I haven't on TV.
Yes, in my series there's a project. People threw all kind of questions. That was one I was confronted with. So she was not telling me a scenario. He said he cheated on him once when she was pregnant. That is the baby daddy or whatever. They are not married. They are living together, kind of stuff, and that's okay. This one get killed. We need to have time to talk.
Value.
What she wanted to find out from where I work was that have I cheated on my wife before?
She wants to know if all men cheat, basically.
No, she couldn't even fathom me that. No, what do you mean? She asked me how long have I been married to. I said, you've never. I said, why would I do that?
Yeah.
So there are a lot of things that still strange to some people. So your program is more important. I hope people will tune in.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate you, sir, for always supporting.
Yeah.
Because this conversation is going to be a long one.
Yeah.
So we have to just keep doing it. That's the best we can do, I guess.
It is well. Thank you very much for having me.
Thank you so much, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. All right, sir. All right. This was a fantastic. I think we got through a lot today. It's always a beautiful thing to have other people join the conversation, because it elevates the conversation as opposed to just me talking. Over here, we'll talk about relationships, power, seduction, attraction, emotional intelligence. I've just had it, self-awareness. And love. I always say, and then marriage. But honestly, at this point, let's talk about marriage at this point, because people are confused all over the place and they are creating confusion. And confusion is not a crime. It is okay. It's what it is. We need to have a conversation. We need to keep the conversation alive. You can download my book, my wife and I's book, if you want to know my story and why I know so much about this stuff and I can relate so much on all sides of this equation. You can download it from loveandprestige.com. You can also sign up for coaching at that same place. Just go to loveandprestige.com. It will take you through everything. And then please feel free to join us on WhatsApp. Join the family on WhatsApp. If you want to be notified when I go live, you want to be sure for notification, I always notify the group members. So just join the group over there. And also you can share stuff with me that you might want me to cover. That's the best way to capture me. You can tag me there. I get a notification and then we can talk about it. Okay. But this was a lovely one. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. Cool, mama. I see you. I saw you when you came in. Shout out to you. Shout out to everybody that supported today. I appreciate you. I'm going to play it for you one more time before I end the show. Thank you so much. Hopefully, you've been enlightened and educated. I appreciate you. Thank you so much. See you on the next one. Peace.
Your love that I've been missing. I miss all your hugs, your touching and kissing. Me love on the floor, the couch in the kitchen. One love enough, we done enough.